same boat where I'm like, yeah, they're gonna kill him, right? Or they're gonna like fucking, or they're gonna find some legal loophole to be like, well, we don't have to turn over the presidency. We can just do whatever we want. Because like like we're in that communist hellhole already. It seems like so. The concept that somehow they're gonna hand over power peacefully with Kamala smiling as big as she fucking was. I don't buy it, man.
Yeah, although, well, you can never tell with her. Because whatever...
She could just be fucking retarded.
Plastered. Well, she's phony.
I don't buy it, man.
Yeah, I mean, she's not genuine, so... Well, you can never tell with her. Whether she's smiling or not is not an indication of how she's feeling. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, the smile was just so big that it was like, either she's just really dumb... Or they got some sort of plans they already talked about, like, ahead of time here, because they couldn't afford to print off 20 million votes for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Because there were, like, 20 million votes that disappeared between last election and this election.
Oh yeah.
Which is not at all suspicious. Not at all suspicious.
Yeah, from what I've heard, there are actually some lefty fucking libtards that are like, oh shit, maybe last election was... stolen.
Well, it's like, I'm a conservative, and I can 100% agree that there was at least 2 elections the conservatives stole within my lifetime. George Bush definitely stole an election, for sure.
Yeah, I learned way more about Chads. Very different kind of Chad they talked about back then.
Yeah, they were not the Chads that you wanted to have. You did not like, these were bad Chads.
Yeah, hanging Chads. Yeah, maybe that one's not so bad. Pregnant Chads. That was an interesting one, I guess.
Pregnant Chads. That sounds more like a this era thing.
Oh, fuck. No, that was one of them. Apparently, like, hanging Chad was the... for anybody who's not old enough to remember the stupid shit, there was little pop-out things, like perforated pieces that were supposed to get punched out. And some of them, again, if one's just hanging by, like, one spot, that's a hanging Chad. Pregnant Chad is if it's like pushed down, but not, it's still connected at like most of the points or whatever. Yeah, it was a bunch of fucking insanity.
Oh yeah, the whole thing was nuts, man. And utterly transparent. Like nobody was dumb enough to think it wasn't rigged.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh,
yeah, that was another one. Al Gore conceded, but then he didn't concede it, and then fucking it just happened to be happened in the county in a state where his brother was governor. Nothing suspicious about that.
No, it's like your governor right now.
Oh,
she was the one that oversaw the election. So weird that she won, man. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Even after she was like 20 fucking points behind in the polls. Nobody even liked her in that state. Such a come-from-behind victory that no one could have, seen coming.
Yeah, well, she investigated herself and found no...
she investigated herself and found that she hadn't committed any crimes. That's good to know.
Dude, it's been happening here for fucking ever. I think they stole the Senate ones again.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Kerry Lake's a little unhinged, even for my taste. But yeah, I think that...
Well, this election has been a huge refutation of this fucking bullshit that's been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's a very big fuck you from everybody that lives in the United States saying... Yeah, no, we don't want your shit anymore, man.
Yeah, I think what I was hoping for, I think, is what happened, is that there was just not nearly as many people willing to commit election fraud for Kamala Harris as for not Trump last time. Again, it wasn't even for Biden. Last time they were doing it for not Trump. And this time they're like, oh, you know what? Shit was actually pretty good when he was in charge, up until that whole COVID thing and the stolen election.
I think with Biden, he had so much political pull with all these countries that he sold his influence to, that he was probably cashing in favors left and right.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So he was probably saying like, hey China, hey Russia, I've sold my soul to you so many times. Y'all fucking owe me. Get some of your fucking operatives over here to give me a hand rigging this election. And they were like, oh, we've got experts. We do that every year. We're really, really good at that. We got you. We got you, Joe. We got you. And so the Russian and the Chinese helped him rig that election for sure. I mean, there's really no question. Maybe not the Russians, but the Chinese were definitely involved because they're the ones that benefited from that way more than any other country. Even our country. They benefited from our president being Biden way more than we did.
Oh yeah, no.
We all lost a fuck ton of money because of that, you know. Like,
yeah. Remember when he pulled all that pulled from the strategic oil reserve or whatever?
Yeah, just to give them
primarily money. Well, it was primarily to lower prices right before the midterm elections, and he also sold $1 billion of it to China.
Yeah.
So he went into the strategic oil reserve. And the strategy was to,
to pay off
the
amount of money he owed them for rigging China. The election. You know, like he was like, I owe these guys a lot of money. They helped me fucking steal this election. I better pay them back, or they're gonna cause trouble. You know, so.
Yeah, I can't believe that wasn't made a bigger deal out of.
Here's the funny thing: will the AI hear us talking about rigging elections now? And say, no, it's totally fine now because we're going to say Trump did that? Or are they going to hear it and be like, no, this was the safest election in history? Is the AI smart enough to discern whether we're talking about Trump or Biden?
Yeah, there's no way. We're actually playing two characters right now. The conspiracy guys.
The conspiracy guys, there you go.
Completely unfounded conspiracy guys.
Yeah, no, we know what we're talking about. We're lunatics, man.
Yeah, no, there's never been any election interference anywhere in the United States. In fact, that whole Battle of Athens thing was just a big misunderstanding back in the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally believable. Yep.
Yeah, that was definitely a fortified election. A properly fortified election. Oh, fuck.
Fortified?
Yeah. Fortified.
Fortified. I like that word.
Well, that's what they used last time. Remember in 2020?
Oh, fortified election. Okay. Yeah, I'd forgotten. That's pretty crazy. I like that fortified. That makes it sound so reliable.
Yeah,
and when it's
dependable.
Absolute bullshit.
Genuine.
You know, you're like, no, that's complete bullshit. Wow, that is astonishing levels of nonsense.
Yeah, it's like Patriot Act.
What's it? Oh shit! I'm streaming my game, which is good. Which is just fine, but I better turn off the nudity. Yeah, okay, make sure there's no nudity on the game before I go too far. I have to leave my game running because there's this limited time event. And for some reason, the decay timer on these items only goes when you're online instead of when you're offline as well, and it's a 24-hour timer. So, like, the amount of time I normally play, I probably wouldn't get these there's like an item that has to decay into another item before you can use it to summon a boss and get a special item, another special item. And if I didn't stay online for, like, the next few hours, I probably, I wouldn't get enough game time in general in order to, like, actually have it do it before the end of the fucking event, so.
That's pretty fucking evil.
Well, it's not supposed to be that way. They're just fucking incompetent. It was the same problem the last time they ran this event before I was playing. or I was taking a break when the event ran last, so I didn't even know about it. But like, in order for them to, like, fix it, they just never fixed it. They've known about this problem for probably more than a year. And then they never fixed it. They didn't fix it when it was originally running. They didn't fix it now that they brought it back. It's still a problem. Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds an awful lot like planned incompetence to me.
It's Funcom, so essentially all their money and interest is in, I think, the next game they're releasing, which is
Dune?
Dune, yeah. Which I will not be playing or purchasing, because I will never buy another game from that developer again, just like ever. Like, I'm already in on this one, so it's too late now. But, like, I'm not going to buy anything else with this gun. I'm not buying anything from their digital marketplace. I'm not buying another game from them. So, like, it's just... we will never be working with them again. Thank you very much. Like, no, I'm gonna pass on ever giving them my money again. But,
Nice.
that just be how it is. That just be how it be sometimes.
Yeah, so that
what was it? I was looking up here.
I never got
Hold
into
on a
the...
second. Did
Yeah,
we
I never
not
got
get
into the
Congress
Dune,
too, though? I think we took Congress.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a couple races still out. The Arizona one was like too close to call, but again, it's probably going to go Democrat because of fucking shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I think they have like 52 guaranteed and possibly like 50.
We
up
win
to
the U.S.
56
Senate
or
majority,
something like
so there's a judge, another Supreme Court judge that's health is starting to fail. So now that we have the Senate majority, there's a good chance Trump will just have a free pass to put whoever he wants in there.
Dude, what if 4 of the 9 came from one fucking president, dude? Holy shit.
Fucking amazing. And Trump has made some amazing picks.
Yeah, no, they were all fucking, I had Kavanaugh was like suspiciously clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, is this guy a fucking human? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, he had like detailed records of his like daily shit. I guess it was a diary, but it seemed a lot more formal than a diary. But like from when he was like a teenager or something. Yeah, it was fucking insane, dude. Yeah, no, that one was great. The Barrett one was good. I don't know much about what's Gorsuch? Was that the other one? Gorsuch or something like that? Who's the third one? There was the Amy Comey Barrett. What the fuck? Did I fall off?
What do you mean?
Who was the third one that he appointed? Gorsuch? Was that the name?
Yeah,
was
Gorsuch, I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about the name on that one. I didn't remember anything
Kavanaugh,
about him, to be honest with you.
Kavanaugh, Barrett,
Amy
and
Comey
Gorsuch,
Barrett. Yeah.
Like
okay.
Gorsuch, like it's not like a it looks like the House is still being not sure yet.
Yeah, I thought they had a slight edge in the House too, but maybe not. It was interesting.
They made gains, but there's enough shenanigans. Like the California car showing up with tons of ballots in the middle of the night in fucking Michigan.
Right. Nothing suspicious there.
We may not end up taking it, unfortunately. I mean, we voted for it, but it might not fucking matter.
Yeah. Unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. I still wouldn't bet on Trump both being alive and taking office without incident. Well,
they
firebombed
the White House the last time he fucking was elected. What's going to happen now?
Oh yeah, no, because again,
people like to talk
about
January 6th, the only unarmed insurrection of people that didn't try to take over, that was an insurrection ever in the history of humanity. The only insurrection where the security guards were opening the doors and ushering them in and giving them fucking tours.
Yeah, it was fucking very violent.
Like a few windows were broken and that's it. Like and a lectern was broken. And some shit was moved around by some dumb fucks.
Yeah, I think Fuentes and Bate Velasco were fucking around in fucking
and a cop murdered some random lady for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, an unarmed woman had to fucking die.
Yeah, he murdered her for no reason. She did nothing wrong. There was no reason for him to shoot, but they refused to investigate that.
Yeah.
Or
I'm sure
even
he had
give
a
up
reason.
the police
Like,
officer's
hey.
fucking name.
Yeah. No, he had a
So
reason.
her family
I assume
doesn't
it's
even
like,
know
hey,
who
I
the
think I can
murderer
get
is.
away
They
with
just have to like suffer knowing that like she's dead because some cop decided he felt like murdering somebody that day for I
Yeah.
don't know,
No, it was
shits and
some black
giggles.
guy. No, it's some black cop, dude. Because I remember, because I was thinking like, oh, he must have thought like, hey, I bet I can get away with fucking killing a white bitch here.
Oh no, I know, but like officially they've never given him up, and officially there's never been an
Oh,
investigation. Is what I'm saying.
oh, I gotcha. Jesus, it's
Yeah.
fucking wow.
Yeah, they refuse to investigate or divulge the police officer's name. I'm sure somebody's figured it out. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gone. He's like gone on fucking been interviewed and shit. He's very proud of. He was very proud of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not have the typical. Oh my god, I killed somebody. Yeah, no, he was very proud of what he had done.
Yeah, sadly, which is really unfortunate that these kind of sick fucks are allowed into the police to
Oh yeah,
ruin it for all the actual good police officers. 'Cause there are good police officers out there. Plenty of
yeah,
really good police officers to go out there
yeah,
and do good things.
yeah. I still believe there's more good than bad.
Yeah.
Which may be not cynical enough, but yeah, I still there's plenty of bad, but I still feel like there's more good or not, at least not bad cops than there are bad cops.
Yeah, you would think. Well, you know
Who
what?
knows?
It is what it is.
Nowadays, maybe not.
I hope there's more good cops than bad cops. I've met more good cops than bad cops in my work.
I assume they probably had to lower their standards, man, because again, that is not a prestigious job.
Oh, and
very
it's
many
not only
places.
that. Okay, so it's not only that, and it's not only like the funding pay cuts and stuff, but who wants to be a cop? People fucking hate cops right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in like Portland, like they could not fucking find anyone to want to fucking be a cop in Portland, dude. So yeah, I think they had to literally lower the fucking requirements to be able to find anybody that was willing to do it. So I'm sure that'll turn out well.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing could go wrong with that.
Yeah, it is funny though in the States, like in New York for sure. Most of California probably similar or the same, where it's basically every big city fucking district went for Kamala, and everywhere else, any of the rural counties, not big cities, went for Trump.
Yeah.
Like the entirety of New York State, outside of the 5 boroughs, went for Trump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, the
New
only
York
people
City
that
is so
voted for
fucking
Trump,
popular, it doesn't matter.
there were maps. The only places that managed to get enough votes to go Kamala Harris were all places where there was no voter ID. So my suspicion is, I know this sounds crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me if there were not all of the states, but many of the states that voted for Kamala Harris might have flipped Trump as well, and they did not commit near as much fraud as they had hoped that they were. They didn't commit the amount of fraud they needed to successfully take over the way they did last time.
Yeah, no, I think it's similar to the first 2016 one. They underestimated just how unpopular Hillary Clinton was, fucking human being as presidential candidate, so they didn't do nearly enough fucking fraud.
Exactly.
And I gotta say, Kamala is even, Kamala I think is actually less likable or more unlikable than fucking Hillary Clinton, which shouldn't be possible, but
you would think, right? It seemed like it would be really hard to get less likable, but
yeah, she dug deep and found a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of the blowing the election, or the joke about the election and Willie Brown? Did you see that one that I posted?
Oh, I've been making jokes about Kamala a second too. Let me see.
I put it in
because
Discord. You might have missed it, but
my buddy from
basically,
Venezuela was super into it, And so he was sending me all sorts of shit, and we were making some jokes back and forth.
Yeah. All right. In case you missed it, or any of the people not listening missed it, it's basically what do the 2024 election and Willie Brown have in common?
Ah.
Yeah, they've both been blown by Kamala Harris. That's the punchline.
Yeah, I was saying at least Kamala has a lot of experience swallowing bitter things for this bitter pill of the defeat to be going down really easy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, as I didn't really know much of the details until the other day. I'd come across it about her and Willie Brown, where he was, I guess they were estranged or whatever, but he was definitely still married when they were dating.
Yeah.
And then I forget what the ceremony was, but like his actual wife showed back up for some ceremony. Like he kicked Kamala to the side and had his wife show up.
Would not at all surprise me.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I know she definitely the Willie Brown thing is pretty well established. The Montel Williams thing pretty well established. I don't know who else though, but probably a bunch of fucking unknown kingmakers in the background got filleted by Kamala back in the day.
Yeah, more than likely.
But she knew who she had to please and how.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah,
the other thing I think a lot of people forget about Kamala Harris, and this is one of the things that I found particularly distasteful about her, is she's the one that was district attorney in California and withheld evidence that demonstrated people's innocence.
Yeah.
She knew people were innocent. She had the evidence to prove that they were in fact innocent of the crimes they were in prison for, and withheld that evidence illegally withheld that evidence so that they could not be proven innocent and released from prison where they were being held, wrongly held.
Yeah, that's a particularly disgusting thing to do, man. Like, I don't know how you.
That's not the kind of person you want in charge of anything.
No, we dodged a bullet because she seems every bit as bitter and vengeful as fucking Hillary would have been. Probably more, and probably even more so. So yeah, no, definitely fucking dodged a bullet. Well, we'll see. It appears for the time that we have dodged a bullet. I really do expect Biden to step down with like a week or two to go, just so she can be president for like a week or two.
Mm.
And who knows what kind of shit she might pull at that point in her lame duck 2-week presidency or whatever.
That's very possible.
Although
that would
I
make
guess
a
you
lot
didn't
of
have to
sense.
worry about everyone insisting that we have a woman president no matter what. Like, look, we already had one. Who cares if she wasn't elected? So shut up.
Yeah, really, it's like, yeah, we already had one. Knock it off. Well, I mean, Biden kind of feels like there might have been already been a woman president.
Although it's what is it? The 25th Amendment? Is that the one where they can unseat the president or whatever? Whatever amendment that is.
Yeah.
I would imagine if Biden doesn't do so voluntarily, I mean, I don't think it'd be all that difficult to have him, proven that he has lost too much of his faculties.
Well, they were already saying that during the election. Which is fucking bonkers if you think about it.
Yeah, it was weird because they wouldn't acknowledge any of the Biden shit, but then she would also say, "Yeah, I wouldn't have done anything differently." So yeah, it was a very odd trying to distance herself from it without chucking him.
Well, but
too far into the butts.
If you knew he was mentally unfit, and he is now, why is he still in office?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was probably warranted this whole time.
Yeah.
She'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Or they might threaten him with that, and then he'll just step down. Which is, I assume, what happened, why he stepped down from even running for re-election.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it would surprise me.
It's one of those things where it's like we'll never know the answer because you know, he's not capable of giving any answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume they convinced Jill that it was in their best interest, and Jill got him to step down.
Yeah.
That seems like a crazy bitch that didn't want to give up what power she had.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know, being a senile president's wife. She probably ran shit more than he did.
Oh, yeah, more than likely. You know. Well, she's already used to being down there, so having her change the diapers probably was the easiest choice.
Right. Yeah, the less distasteful choice.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That whole thing is just nuts, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, I do not expect them to just let Trump take office.
No. I mean, it'd be great if he does.
Yeah, no, I'm still hoping for that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I'll believe it when I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely, I'll believe it when I see it case for me, too.
Because, I don't doubt they had contingency plans. Yeah, does he have his own security guys that still work for him, or is it really just the Secret Service? Because I would hope he would know by now that he needs to...
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I was curious, like, is that allowed?
I hope he has his own people.
Yeah. But you never know.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't be trusting. I wouldn't be trusting the people that worked for the government, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not after like the 3 attempts, especially the one where they shot him in the ear, where they were basically just setting up somebody, giving somebody because he was walking around with a fucking rangefinder before that.
Yeah.
Like he'd been there for days doing all sorts of incredibly suspicious shit.
Yeah, very conspicuous fucking, Yeah, it was fucking, ugh. Yeah, and all the people were pointing it out, right? For at least a good 5 minutes at least. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like good 10.
Like you watch the video, it's like somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes that they're literally just yelling at the police, going over and talking directly to the police, like point blank, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. One of the things, I was watching one of the guests on Joe Rogan's show. He's like a guy who used to work sort of in that sort of kind of government stuff kind of thing. I don't remember what his name is. Hold on a second here.
I'm actually wondering why they didn't start like nobody. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Mike Baker, who's like a guy, and he was saying one of the things that they were saying because he had some more info on that. He's like, one of the things they were saying in that thing where that attempt happened was that, we had too many different agencies to have them all on the same radio. They all had to be on different frequencies. Is that they were saying, he's saying, and his response to that is, and that's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
I don't think he used those exact words, but the sentiment was the same. It was just like, that's the fucking dumbest shit I've heard. You absolutely do have all those people on the same fucking frequency. There's no reason not to. That's beyond bizarre. Like, everybody should be incredibly suspicious of that statement.
Yeah, if they can get compatibility across fucking gaming consoles, I feel like they should be able to sync up.
Yeah. If like 90% of the games on consoles can be moved to PC and allowed to play there by everybody, and you can make games that play across gaming consoles, I think everybody can talk to each other, for sure.
Yeah. If a guy playing fucking Call of Duty on a Switch can play against somebody playing on a fucking PS5.
Well, I'm willing to bet that if you gave a 12-year-old the choice and you said, hey, we're going to let you play Fortnite, you and your 4 buddies, but however, you're each going to represent a different agency, so you're not going to be able to all talk on the same comm link. We're going to have to put you all on different comm links because it just won't work any other way. I'm willing to bet that 12-year-old would say, that's dumb.
Yeah. If you guys are all on the same comm link, that's too confusing.
Just too many, and it'd be very confusing.
Split them up. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that 12-year-old would say, no, I don't want to play that game anymore because that sounds really fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was wondering why the fuck didn't people just start literally screaming and yelling that there's a guy with a gun on the roof?
They were.
Like, other than, like, oh, they were.
They were like, there's a guy on the roof. There was big crowds of people screaming it at the fucking cops.
Oh, okay.
And the Secret Service, and they were just ignoring them. The Secret, I think the cops were radioing it in, but the Secret Service were just ignoring it because they were obviously setting up and intending to let this guy assassinate the president.
Yeah, okay, because I would have thought, like you'd be able to...
I think they intentionally
should have been screaming like fucking crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, deliberate incompetence again,
I think they deliberately assigned really, really stupid people, and the people at the top were very clear in that they were there to let this go. And the whole thing was a setup. That's my personal belief. People can dispute that. I don't really give a shit. Think what you want.
Didn't the shooter have a conspicuously absent online history?
Oh, they
for
scrubbed
a 20-year-old?
They scrubbed him. His body was cremated within like 10 days too.
Yeah.
Like they scrubbed everything. His living where he lived was professionally scrubbed. They didn't even have silverware where he lived.
Wow.
Like that's how fucking down to the bones they scraped everything to make sure he was untraceable and no one would ever be able to like figure out that they'd hired him to do this. Because he was probably working for the CIA. That's the most likely.
Oh yeah. How did he not know how that was going to turn out? I guess he's just.
I think he was enough of a fanatic because they were trying to claim that he was a Republican because he like donated like $15 to like a Republican thing, and not counting like the thousands and thousands of dollars he donated to like Democrat things over the course of his life.
Right.
So they were like, oh no, he was just mixed up and stuff. He's like, no, he clearly did this just as like fuck you kind of thing. Like we all get that. Like, nobody's that fucking dumb.
Although I guess I could also imagine a never Trumper Republican doing it too.
Possible, but I think he was just a fanatic of the left, and he'd been donating money to them for years and supporting them for years, and he had military experience, and he decided this was his, or no, he had no military experience. He just decided this was his calling to do it, and he did it. And how ironic that the side of gun control has no ability to shoot. I mean, that's just fucking kind of funny in its own way. Sadly, the sad thing is people did lose their lives in that attack. Like, there were, like, innocent people that were killed. Was it one person who was killed or two? I thought it was two, right?
Just the one, the police chief guy.
And then the other guy was injured, but it was, like, one of those awful injuries. It's, like, going to be with, like, never going to really get better. It's not going to be...
Yeah, injured but not, or wounded but not killed. Yeah.
But his injury was so severe that it's definitely like a life-altering injury. Like it's never going to be fully healed.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That whole thing was just so grotesque and fucked up, and especially the fact that it was just fucking dead air on the fucking on the press.
Right.
Boy, howdy, if a gun had been in the audience where Kamala Harris was, like, nobody even tried to shoot. Like, they just had it. Somebody was dumb and forgot to take their gun out of their fucking jacket, that they normally carry for self-protection and brought it into, like, the press conference or, like, to listen to one of her speeches. Boy, howdy, there'd be fucking no end of press on that. That would have been
no doubt.
all over the fucking media. Like stink on shit, no question.
Yeah, I assume anybody that even had that thought was like, okay, there's literally no other Republican or no other Democrat that's going to take her place, that she's not going to be worse than.
Well, and here the weird thing is with Kamala, there was no there was no primary. Like that was the part that was kind of fucked up about the whole thing was the fact that, like, at no point did the Democrats even get a chance to choose their own candidate. It was just chosen for them arbitrarily.
Yeah, why was Biden allowed to just choose who was going to run like that.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like he's
Like,
the
I get that
president,
it's
not the
fucking-
fucking king. You don't just like nominate a successor. It's not. That's not how that works. It doesn't make any fucking
Yeah,
sense.
I get that it was. I get that it was short notice, but I feel like you could have gotten something, some kind of shit done.
There's no reason
within
they
100
could not have
days.
had a primary. I'm sorry. There's no
Yeah.
excuse for that. That was just bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like maybe like 2 weeks tops, and probably even faster if they really fucking got after it. They could have gotten all that shit figured out.
But they could have
like,
had an online vote and had it all fucking handled, and it would have never been a question. So,
yeah, I feel like they just kind of knew like whoever it wasn't gonna win, so they're like, all right, let's fucking hang this bitch
It
out
really
to
does
dry.
feel like
None of us
Kamala
like
was
this
the
bitch
sacrificial
anyway.
lamb in that respect.
Yeah. Again, I feel like most of the I feel like she's just that unlikable that even the Democrats are like, yeah, fuck her, hang her out to fucking dry.
Yeah.
I assume they were sick of the odd cackling when nothing funny was said.
Oh yeah,
Or
the
something,
uncomfortable cackle.
Horrifically unfunny. Dude, it was so weird. Like, there's no way that somebody didn't tell her, and she still couldn't stop herself.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say there's no way, but it seems like somebody would have had the balls at some point to let her know, hey,
No,
that's
you
really
would think.
fucking off-putting.
You would think.
At least restrict it to you trying to say something funny. All right? Is that a nice compromise?
Like if you're gonna make that god awful noise, could you please only do it when somebody makes an actual joke, and not just because you are a joke?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I don't understand how she couldn't stop herself from doing it, dude. It was so fucking weird.
Yeah, that whole
even
thing
if
was
nobody
just such a
told you.
weird situation. And it was, ironically, if you think about it, it kind of, so like, everything about this felt really similar to the last time Trump won. Right? And also to the time that Trump won the second time they rigged the whole thing.
Right.
Where, like, the people didn't really get to pick their candidate so much on the left, and it just didn't really make a lot of sense who they put forth. And
Yeah, Bernie Sanders was way more popular.
yeah.
Oh no, that was the first time. Oh no, that was
that was
time.
the first one.
Yeah.
That was with Clinton. Yeah. Bernie Sanders was like the other chance of they had it. Now, honestly, I think would have been a much stronger opponent to Trump. I don't know that he would have won, but I think he would have had a much better turnout.
Yeah, there were definitely at least a lot of enthusiastic Bernie supporters.
Yeah,
Far more enthusiastic than anybody for fucking Hillary.
Oh yeah, and it's arguable. It's arguable that you could make the argument that Trump might have won because people on Bernie's side were like, you know what, fuck you. If you're going to take away my option to choose, then I'm going to choose the other guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there were definitely a lot of fucking Bernie Sanders when he dropped out, when he finally conceded. Yeah, they were fucking pissed.
There's a fair to middling chance I would have voted for Bernie, honestly, that time around.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have eventually gone for Trump anyway, because it's just like communism is dumb. It just doesn't work. Socialism, you can call it, what you want to call it, socialism or whatever else you want to call it. It's still communism. And it doesn't work because when you remove it's like why having a one-party system is so fucking dangerous for a country. It's because when you remove any form of competition, like we're already in a shit sandwich because there's only two parties that are viable. But even, at least with two parties, there's a competition of some sort to get a good, competent leader. Because we're not talking about the big policy things that aren't going to affect people day to day, like most of the other shit. But just like the little policy things that do matter day to day for everybody, like if the leader is completely incompetent, that ruins everybody's existence.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's why there's a lot of flaws with communism, but yeah, that's definitely, the
Yeah, no competition
innovation.
for the leader, so the leader is an incompetent fucking retard 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
it turns
just
out
somebody with
competition,
no skill that didn't have to compete to get there.
yeah, competition breeds innovation.
Exactly. And so when you get, like, two leaders that might be really good and everybody has to choose which one, it turns out that process provides a better chance to having better leaders.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, so weird, so strange. But yeah, that whole thing was that stunk to high heaven with Kamala with Bernie. I don't remember who it was with Biden, but if I remember correctly, didn't they? Because it's that weird sort of not actually giving the people the right to choose on the Democrat side.
Yeah, the way that the DNC sets
The
up to pick their
yeah, there's
guy
like
is fucking.
there's like these set of people that just have all the power for no reason.
Yeah, the super delegates
Yeah,
or
super
whatever. I
delegates.
think
That's what it was.
called.
Yeah, that was the term I was thinking.
Yeah. So it makes essentially everyone not really matter. Like they have so much of a percentage of the vote. Like their vote counts for, I forget what it is, but it's a lot. It's a lot more than any one person
Yeah.
could
The
have.
super delegates can basically overrule all of the citizens, which is fucking weird for a political party in the United States.
Yeah, that's why I have a problem with it because they're like, well, it's a private enterprise or whatever, and I'm like, but it's setting up for the election. Like, no, there should be some oversight to that.
It's not a private enterprise.
There should be some.
I don't agree that it's a private enterprise.
Yeah, no, that's what they say, dude.
No, I
That's
know
what they
that. I know
claim.
that's what they claim. I'm saying I just don't agree. I flat out don't agree.
Yeah,
that
no,
that's
I
the
don't
case.
either. Yeah, and it shouldn't be. Or at least it should be subject to.
Anybody can join it. There's no cost. There's no like, oh well, you're not allowed to because of this or whatever the other thing. Like they don't do background checks, which makes it public in my opinion.
Yeah. No, again, because it's.
And they're getting public funding from the public
determining.
directly. I'd say that's a public that's public enterprise.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely it should be. So yeah, I feel like both any political party should be subject to the same rules.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Well, I think it's important to call it out as what it is though, and say, hey, no, that's a public enterprise.
Yeah. It's fucking pretty ridiculous to claim otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just for everybody, like, there's no reason for us to call it a private enterprise because we know better. And it's like, I think the more people that adopt that, the better. Because the only way to fight that sort of bullshit propaganda and misinformation is by just refusing to go along with it.
Yeah.
Like we can't, you just have to say, no, that's not a private enterprise, it's a public enterprise. Don't care what you say. You guys can mislabel it all you want, and a judge can do it because you paid him a lot of money. I don't care. Political parties are not private enterprises, they're public enterprises because they serve the public and are created by the public.
Yeah. In a way that's essential to the fucking, the election process of the fucking country.
Yeah, exactly. That's the part that really makes it disturbing. Oh god, that is such a wacky thing.
Yeah. It's weird that that's been accepted all this time.
Yeah, you would think like for people. I think it's because ultimately the left wants fascism. I mean, you listen to some of the shit they say, and it's like, clearly they want the government to just rule everyone, like with an iron fist.
Yeah, that's pretty apparent.
That whole thing is, like some of the stuff, I forget who was saying it, but they were like, somebody was saying, oh, Trump won because we didn't have control over enough control over what the media says. Because they should have full control over the media, according to whoever this fucking psycho was. I forget who it was.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where you're like, do you hear yourself speaking like you're a fucking Democrat, like person in authority with the Democrats? Like, how could you possibly say that out loud? And how does your own part, like the people in your party, not be like, what the fuck did you just say? Like,
Yeah, whenever they came up with the super delegate thing, should have been fucking, should have been a huge outcry against that kind of shit.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so we don't matter.
And they
It's
should be
just
really
the
disturbing.
fucking-
They should be really disturbed about people in their party who are up in the higher echelon saying things like, "We shouldn't be allowing freedom of the press." This is, you know,
Right.
like, that's not something your political party should be saying in the United States.
Yeah, that's a fucking terrifying fucking. Somebody
Like,
said
should
that
be
out
the whole,
loud.
like, if that, I forget who it was. It was oh, because I was listening to somebody else talk about how they saw it, and they were like, "What?" Let's see.
You said the quiet part out loud. God damn, dude. That's disturbing.
Because they didn't control. Oops, wrong letter. The press enough. It's like a well-known person in there.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Yeah,
that is
unfortunately,
terrifying.
Google is the only way. I don't really know a better search engine, and I don't think Google is going to kick it up. I know it was a lady.
Dude, that's scarier than fucking
Yeah,
Trudeau.
well, they're all dissecting why Trump won. I can tell you why Trump won. Trump won because people don't like identity politics. They don't want children being mutilated in schools and given dangerous cancer-causing drugs without their parents' permission or knowledge. They don't want these dangerous and unscientific and untrue sort of things about gender toss. Like, I think that's definitely one of those things. You're seeing a lot of parents are, when they find out about it happening in their schools, are going to their schools and saying, "No, you need to stop." They don't want schools having books that teach children intentionally how to meet adults for sex without their parents knowing.
Yeah, some of the books, the shit, in some of these
and
books,
these are the kind, and I think a lot of Black and Latino and other minority voters, like Asians and Blacks and Latinos, are getting pretty fucking tired of being told what they can't do. That they're incompetent and can't do anything. You know, like.
Yeah, the condescending racism. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys couldn't possibly get your own IDs. None of you are smart enough for that.
Yeah, no, it's that whole, like, at best, they consider minorities the noble savages.
Yeah,
like, best case scenario.
Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking disgusting. Yeah, Latino men, it was 54% for Trump, 44% for Kamala.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then of course I had to break out Norm Macdonald's old joke. It was about something about driving, but it was like he was like, note that the figures here don't add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think I put Latina woman just because it was about Latinos. The math was done by a Latina.
Now, if you got an Asian to do that math, it'd have been perfect.
I think I'm trying to think. Asians are probably already for Trump, right? For the most part.
Yeah, because they've been getting kicked out of the colleges.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of people have been kicked out of the colleges.
Yeah, because they don't get.
They're too good at school to be able to go to college. We need retards. We need retards from the local correctional facility to fill out our college ranks. Thanks.
Yeah, dude, that was so fun. it's fascinating that was allowed. That's been allowed to happen. They're like, oh, you're white, or Asian. Well, you get like points off.
Yeah.
For your academic achievements.
And
if
instead
you're black,
of here's the thing. Let's just make it so that all of the schools, because almost all of them receive federal funding at this point, let's make it so the schools just aren't allowed to consider race at all when they're doing their intakes. That's all you got to do is just say, hey, the only thing you're allowed to look at is academic records. You're not allowed to look at if they're a male. You're not allowed to look if they're a female. You're not allowed to look if they're white, black, Mexican, Latino. It doesn't matter. You know, that's just not going to be information you guys have access to. Get used to it. And you're going to have to make it based, your exceptions to who goes to your school based entirely on their capability.
Yeah. It's
and then I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will complain, but at that point, their complaints are going to be falling on deaf ears because a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, what do you mean? What's the problem there? Like, they're not being racist. They're just taking the people that are capable. You know.
It's like the what do you call them? The historically black. There's still some white people that go to those schools.
Yeah.
Or non-black people like Kamala went to Howard.
Yeah. What was her mix? It was like Asian and Indian or something like that. She's not actually black,
yeah,
but they kept calling her black for some reason.
Yeah, it's like Indian and Jamaican, which again, I think it's a pretty safe bet.
I think when we say black, we mean African American,
but
not Jamaican. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't really consider them, even though they're from mostly from Africa. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I still don't consider them black. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird on that one.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, skin color wise, yeah, but for as far as the term is used in American parlance, it refers to somebody of African American descent, not somebody of Jamaican descent.
Thieves, slavers, murderers. And the only place in his exile.
Yeah, no, it was funny because Trump said something about that when he was in front of like the. It was like the black women's news thing or whatever. He was on some panel. And he was like, yeah, no, I always heard that she was like Indian Asian, and all of a sudden now she's black.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they love that.
Yeah. No, some of them did laugh.
Loves Trump's comment.
They just couldn't help themselves because.
Oh yeah, no, that's the funniest thing because like I don't know if you watch Joe Rogan at all ever. I watched the episode with him and Trump. And I watched the episode of him and J.D. Vance because I'm like, these are going to be the people that are going to run the country potentially. I'd like to hear what they have to say. I think that's a good opportunity as a 3-hour interview where they don't get to just fucking give a couple of little nonsense political things. J.D. Vance swearing up a fucking storm, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, that dude was letting the F-bomb. He was saying fuck and shit and goddamn it and those motherfuckers.
Nice.
That's a shitty fucking thing to do to people and stuff. Oh yeah.
Nah.
I respected that. I was like, this is a politician who's actually using fucking profanity in a public fucking interview that anybody can go out and listen to, because you can go on to Spotify for free and just watch that episode and never have to watch anything else. And I thought Trump was actually very personable. I actually kind of changed my opinion on Trump. I was saying, like, he's not the kind of guy you'd want to invite to a party, but I think he is.
Yeah. Did you
watching him on the Undertaker thing and watching him with Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
He seems like just a genuinely really nice guy.
Yeah, no, he's got a decent sense of humor. He's self-deprecating. Yeah, he's fucking. Yeah, he's not the fucking monster that everybody claims him to be.
Well, I just assume billionaire usually means like fucking psycho. Because the amount of money you make, you have to do some fucked up dark shit to get in a lot of cases. And that may still be the case with him. I don't know.
I don't.
But as far as personality-wise, he seems like a genuinely nice guy. And the concerns he was expressing weren't like weird egotistical things. They were just like, people
Yeah.
can't afford to live in this country. This is ridiculous. This isn't okay. We need to turn this around so
Yeah.
people can make a living, so people can be successful. He doesn't want to give people
Yeah, no, I
handouts. He
think,
wants to solve the problem so that they can get themselves and
Yeah.
set themselves, up better.
Yeah, I don't think him expressing like concern over the average working man, woman, whatever. I think that's genuine from him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It sounded very
I
genuine.
don't think it's. Yeah. Unlike every other fucking politician you hear, certainly on the national stage.
Yeah, and I know that's it's weird
Shit.
because honestly, I thought it was just bullshit. But like after those 2 interviews, I was like, no, really, he does sound like he really cares.
Yeah. No,
And it
actually
sounded like he
surprised.
has a genuine understanding of how bad it is for people. One of the things J.D. Vance said in his interview was like, the thing about Trump you have to understand is, and I think a lot of people don't understand why this is such a powerful thing that he does, is he will talk with anybody.
Yeah.
So, like, there's numerous occasions where he would bring up, like, oh, I was talking to my gardener the other day, and he was saying da-da-da-da about this thing and that, or that political thing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like,
Yeah, it seems like it's actually not bullshit.
yeah, so he's getting, like, information about stuff from people on all levels so that he's not getting that insulated, psychotic, like, bullshit thing that a lot of these politicians get, where they just never talk to any actual human beings and have no fucking idea what the policies they enact are going to be doing and who they're going to be doing it to and the kind of effects that they could be having.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually out there talking to those people and going, oh, it's really shitty when that happens and you're fucking unable to pay your bills. I can do better than that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not even sure. I don't know that his because he's definitely got some pretty strong narcissistic traits, but I don't know that it. I don't think it raises to the level of like an actual personality disorder with him.
I would say he's arrogant, and that he has an overly inflated ego.
Yeah,
but I would not say he's a narcissist
sure.
in any sort of clinical sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the narcissism off the charts, because when he does start talking about his shit, it's almost funny the way he fucking like talks himself up, dude. Like it's just kind of funny. Like, yeah, no, this one is the greatest. Some say the best ever. Like about anything he ever does, it's successful in any way. It's kind of funny, but yeah, but again, he has. I feel like he actually has true empathy in a way that like
a lot of the stuff he does, I think, is sort of like car salesman sort of tactics.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the best car you've
like,
ever heard of. It's going to be the best you've ever driven. Oh, you're going to be so happy with this. Everybody's happy with this car when they buy this car. Everybody tells me this is the best car.
Yeah, so that kind of shit. Yeah, at this point, it almost seems like a gimmick. Like he does it on purpose.
Like he knows.
Like, I'm known for this. I'm going to embrace it and just fucking do it all the time. Yeah, because he definitely seems to have self-awareness. He's definitely able. What the fuck? Able to be self-deprecating, to fucking recognize flaws and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I loved his the part about when he was with the Undertaker and he asked him about how many times he'd been married or whatever.
And he's like, we don't need to get into that.
Too many to
cover that,
or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, no, yeah, go ahead. No, that was a bad question. All right, we'll strike that from the podcast. Although I'm sure he knew that wasn't going to get struck from the podcast.
Oh yeah. He's too smart. Yeah, and I think that's.
Oh, that was a dumb question. That wasn't a kind of an impolite question to ask.
I think that him going on the podcast, going on like with the Undertaker and with Trump and stuff like that, I think that's a direct result of his willingness to talk to anybody. So he's been given good advice from people that are like, you should go talk to these people, and I think that a lot of people would really appreciate getting their chance to, be heard, and for you to hear, like this would demonstrate that you're hearing a lot of their concerns.
All right. So yeah, you saw the Rogan one and the Undertaker one. So yeah, so I assume the Rogan was similarly humanized in then, yeah. Like the Undertaker one.
Rogan just does not get swayed from a topic. So, he's
gotcha.
he was really trying to push for information on on fucking what was it on like JFK and stuff like that, and so he was really pushing, and I think Trump actually kind of got a little bit pushed around by Rogan into being a little more honest and a little more forthcoming about some of this stuff. And in some of the cases, he kind of had to say, like, I don't know. I wish I could give you a better answer, but this is what I do know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he definitely talked about, because, like, I guess as soon as you become president, there's all kinds of crazy national secrets that they have to inform you about.
Yeah.
And he definitely said that was like a fucking, like really fucked with him, finding out.
Yeah. And he explained to Joe, he's like, look, I can only say so much before I'm crossing lines that I'm not allowed to cross. Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things where it's like, like there was a couple situations where you were like, I respect that.
I wonder if one of the reasons that he's such a threat is that they're worried that once he's out of office and he's so old, he's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna fucking spill the beans on all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah, well, he was already talking about putting Ted Cruz in charge of releasing all the Kennedy documents.
Yeah, didn't he like reclassify or like extend something where they didn't come out when he was president?
He did. So the way he answered that, he says, look, I was dealing with a lot of stuff. There were a lot of other things going on. This is, I understand, very important to some people, but as far as like running a country, it's not one of the most important things. And some people who I really trusted were telling me that this is what I should do, and that I shouldn't release this, and that I should extend it like this. So I did. And he said, and that may not have been the right decision. And it's, and that's what he said, that's the decision I made at the time, and perhaps it wasn't the correct decision.
That's a great fucking answer. Holy shit.
Right?
That's pretty perfect.
and it's a fair answer, because it's one of those things where you understand, you fully understand where he's coming from. He's not holding, there's really nothing to be held back there. And he's also very, being careful not to like disclose things that he may not legally be allowed to disclose as just a candidate, even though he was president.
The
interesting thing to see is there's those 45 bullshit felonies or whatever. Those 45 things that are not actually classified as felonies, that they just arbitrarily were like, no, we're going to call them felonies now. Why? Fucking because. Like, all right.
Yeah, I'm curious. Did you see? I forgot who the guy was, but he was some Trump guy. Was talking about like, all right, if you guys want to, like, I dare you. I forget if he was going to be like Attorney General or something. I forget who the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was basically like, I dare you fuckers to come after him like that, to keep coming after him like that. like in pretty blatant terms, dude. I was like, holy shit. Fucking, I would not expect that amount of frankness.
Well, here's the thing. So all the stuff that they're doing, what some of the people have been saying, I don't remember where I heard this, so I don't know how likely it is to be accurate as far as like their knowledge of the law. My knowledge of the law, I don't fucking know. I don't know what the outcome would be in a lot of this. So I couldn't tell you, but a lot of people were saying that most likely a lot of these things will just be reduced to fines, and then they'll just take a bunch of money from them again.
Yeah. What was the judgment in that fucking the rape case? Was like 100, like an insane amount.
Insane amount of money. Here's the thing, though. I'm sure that's going to get appealed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And also,
curious that
in almost every state, there's a limit on how much money you can be fined for damages.
Right, right.
So it's they can't just arbitrarily take like half his fucking money and give it to some lady like that. That's actually not going to work out for them long term. But I'm not sure. Like it's going to be, how do you? I don't know what the end result is going to be on that one. So that's going to be kind of rough.
I wonder, can he pardon himself for civil cases?
No,
Well,
I don't think he can. I don't think that would work.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Like, from what I understand, there's nothing restricting him from pardoning himself for anything criminal.
I think you can.
Yeah, I don't think it's been done, but from what I understand, there's nothing.
Here's the thing. I don't think you would need to.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to prosecute unless they can get it done in the next 2 months.
Well, because you can't.
Or whatever.
The president is immune from prosecution. So not only can they not prosecute him, they can't even try him for that. They can't just arbitrarily they
there's
can't
no
just
way
be like, you got to go to because like what would be if say Kamala had won. And you could go and like, what would stop like some random sheriff in Texas from like just going ahead and arresting her or something?
Right.
And while I'm sure there's a lot of Republicans that'd be like, well, that'd be cool. It's like, no, that'd be really fucking uncool, bro. Like that would be extremely uncool. We don't want that. That's not what we want, guys.
No, it was weird to hear all the people talking how fucking what a travesty it was that a convicted felon was going to be president. Like, dude, come on. Are you really that brain dead? Are you really that fucking one-sided or my team oriented that you don't know all of that shit was fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah. I don't understand a lot of that.
So I do wonder if like the fucking dumb bitches on The View, do they actually believe that those things weren't just political prosecution, both really, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole thing was just such a bizarre thing because that's the kind of thing that happens in banana republics. It's not the kind of thing that's supposed to happen in the U.S. where the court system is used so blatantly just for the sake of going after like political opponents. Yeah,
like Trump could have gone after fucking Hillary and would have had a hell of a lot more of a case.
First of all, how is she getting damages for a crime that never happened? Like, like there was never any crime. He never committed a single crime. He never assaulted or did anything to her that was in any way illegal or even merits that sort of thing.
What was her story? That he actually raped her? Like, what did she actually claim? The old bitch.
I don't remember, but yeah, it was one of those things where it's like there's no actual crime that was committed. So how do you award somebody money for something that didn't happen? It doesn't make any sense. But
it's it's obviously being persecutory bullshit.
This is such a blatant case of they were using the fucking legal system just to take money from him.
That went on with Anderson Cooper and said that. Right, that's the same bitch, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She was. And how long ago was that supposed to have happened?
I don't remember.
40 years ago or something?
Yeah, some long ass time.
I think it was like in the 80s or something, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that bitch was fucking nuts. It was amazing that she fucking managed to not only get it to go through, but they actually fucking won.
Well, they won because Trump wasn't allowed to actually have any form of defense whatsoever.
Yeah, kind of.
So that's the problem with that case, and that's why I think that there's a very good chance that it's going to get tied up in appeals, and if she gets any money at all, it'll be a very small amount.
Hey, get out of there.
Because there's really not much in the legal system that's permanent. With one trial, that there's never another chance to go over the evidence, and in this case, it would be extremely difficult to argue that Trump doesn't deserve an opportunity to defend himself again in court. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a blatant disregard of all the fucking laws to do what they did in all of the cases right now that are going on. Like, they just completely fucking ignored the law. So.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's the Alex Jones case. Wasn't the settlement like over $1 billion or something crazy like that?
Yeah, that's one of those ones that again, this is literally just biased judges making the decision to not bother having an actual trial and just to steal money from people. You know, like, because if you look at the actual what happened, like, there's no reason Alex Jones should have to pay this person any money at all. It's absolutely fucking absurd.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder if the amount was that high because, like, for Trump, he had to come up with a certain amount of like collateral or whatever they call it, in some kind of escrow to appeal the case against him. Like, I remember everyone being really pissed that he came up with the money.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering if they did that to Alex Jones. They made the amount so fucking insane that even he wasn't going to, be able to come up with enough to appeal it.
Oh, that could be the case. Because there should never be... Because one of the things that I think is really important and should stay this way is that there should be a limit to the amount of money you can win in damages in cases.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be able to win more than you actually suffered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the fucking $1 billion.
Like that lady that burned the shit out of her lap in McDonald's, and I don't remember how much she got. Like, she should have won. She should have gotten money. It was a really extreme burn. Way, way, way beyond reasonably hot.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard about that, and actually for decades.
For the longest time, I thought it was total nonsense. But,
apparently they really did have that shit set
she
way
got
too fucking hot.
She got third-degree fucking burns. You know, it was pretty serious. And she should definitely have gotten, like, the medical records paid and some stuff, but I think she got paid way more than was reasonable.
Yeah.
Way beyond reasonable. But, whatever, that's long since done and past, and, it's kind of not really much purpose in going after that now.
Nah. I forget, there was a case where some guy got, like, his fucking junk scalded by, like, the hot water from, like, a shower at, like, a hotel.
Oh, wow. How fucking hot is that water, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, dude. Okay, all right, but this is what the comedian pointed out, which was really fucking funny, is who tests the fucking water temperature with your fucking dick and your fucking your nuts? Like, why is that going to be the first part you're going to fucking test the fucking water temperature with?
That's actually a really good question. Why would that be your choice?
Why is that the spot you decide to fucking let the potentially scalding hot water hit first? Yeah, I don't know about you, but I assume not everybody does this, but I generally will put my hand in the water or a foot or something just see how hot it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Put my hand in the water, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but apparently this guy just gets in and he's like, all right, fucking point that shit right at my fucking nuts.
To be fair, I don't check the water all the time when I get in the shower at my house.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm somewhere other than my house, I'm gonna stick a hand in there.
Yeah. You have no idea what their settings are.
I don't know. I'm half the fucking time I'm having a hard time even figuring out how to turn on the fucking hot water. So, I'm definitely putting my hand in there. Not because I'm worried about getting burned, because I don't want to freeze my balls off.
Yeah, yeah, it
Like,
can go either way, dude. Yeah, you just don't know what the settings
exactly.
are.
I'd
Any
be
kind
more
of
concerned about like, am I about to put my nuts in the most ice cold, unpleasant fucking situation I've ever had?
Yeah, yeah. Either way, that should be about the last part of your body that should be getting water.
Yeah. So I
Definitely
was gonna
not the
say, because in
first.
my house with my water,
Yeah, you're
100%, the
familiar with
first thing that goes in the water is my leg.
it.
Right? Like my
Yeah, just
foot goes
step
in
in.
there first, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm testing the water with because I know the settings and I'm not concerned at all.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to be surprised by,
Well,
what the
and
temperature.
I've had the water without any cold water by because somebody like flushed the toilet or something. So if it's all hot water, I'm fine. It's not going to burn me. It's going to be
Right.
unpleasant. I'm not gonna like it. It might be a little bit painful, but it's not going to be like third degree
Yeah.
burns that I'm
Not
gonna
going to
never
scald your
fucking
fucking
recover
head.
from. It's just gonna be like, oh, okay, that was unfucking pleasant. And then I moved the shower head so it wasn't facing me anymore. There's a little cutoff on the shower head, so I just cut off the water there. But yeah, I've
Yeah, at any kind of
never
place.
once have I ever thought the first thing I should put the water on my pee pee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not once.
Mm.
That's a really good
Yeah,
point.
in that case, yeah, you wonder how that person managed to stay alive long enough to scald his nuts in a fucking hotel room with that judgment that poor.
Have you ever met one of those people that's just incredibly dumb?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, where I genuinely, like, not jokingly, wonder, like, how the fuck have you been alive this long?
They're
How
almost
did you get
always
to
nice people too, which is the weird part.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's
Once in a while, you
yeah,
get somebody
yeah. The
who's
dumb
really,
you are,
really
the
dumb
more like,
and they're mean too, but it's rare.
yeah, yeah. Most of the time, they're deliriously happy,
Like
which is frustrating.
I've taught a few people how to drive a stick shift because I had a stick shift for a while. I had a little '94 Toyota Corolla with a stick shift in it, and it don't
Right.
get easier to learn than on an old fucking Toyota sedan, right? Like that's easy learning on that. It's got like 4 gears, and they're pretty fucking like you can be in the wrong gear for a while before it's really a big deal. And so I've taught multiple people how to drive a stick in that. And I tried to teach this kid how to drive it. Oh no! At the time, I was teaching him in a Saab. I've had multiple stick shifts over my lifetime of vehicles. I actually really liked stick shifts for a very long time.
Yeah, actually, my first Infinity was a G20 and it was stick shift.
My first driving lesson was in a stick shift.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah, actually, my mom took us out. Took us out on the desert when we were like 13, 14. And let us drive around in Jeep that was stick shift. So that's what I learned on too. Actually,
my mom took me out
a useful skill.
in a Colt Vista Cruiser, I think it was. It was like a little hatchback sedan. It had like 4 seats, and it looked almost like an SUV now, like one of the little, like my Tucson SUV, but like smaller. And
Right.
she tried to teach me how to drive a stick shift from the start, like how to I didn't get to learn in an automatic with her. She tried to teach me in a parking lot full of hills, right? Which was a terrible thing.
Right. Might be a little. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a little.
Yeah, I ended up. My dad
little more
ended up
challenging.
taking me out like the next day in a fucking automatic in our automatic car. We had like a Ford Taurus. He took me out in the Ford Taurus the next day, and he was like, "I don't know what your mom is thinking. We're gonna start here and just get you used to driving a car and like being able to handle it in a parking lot without hitting anything." And so he had me drive around a parking lot for like like an hour in the Taurus wagon and like park the car and pull it back out and shit. Like it was none of that other dumb shit. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I did eventually learn how to drive a stick, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate what she was trying to do. It's just like too many things to start with at first. You should always start somebody on an automatic if you can, until they're comfortable handling the car enough that they can start worrying about what they're doing with their feet and doing all this extra shit on top of it. At least in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean around here, I mean again, there's desert in a very short distance. So going out in the middle of the desert and starting on with a standard transmission is not that big of a deal.
Oh,
But
you
yeah,
got to
I wouldn't have,
remember, I'm an
I don't
hour out
think
of
I
San
want-
Francisco, man. There's a lot of big hills in this area. So if you're driving a stick here, you're driving up and down hills a lot everywhere you go.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Well, you've
just
driven
between,
around. You've
your,
driven around my area. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, the area between your place and fucking Point Arena, dude, is very hilly. Indeed.
Complex arcade.
Holy shit.
Many
Yeah, that's
It is
definitely
I will forego the humiliating.
not that far from the actual coast, dude. But yeah, there's a lot of
Your
rise in elevation pretty quickly in that area.
Oh yeah.
From the seashore to the fucking
a banishing ritual.
large hills and fucking mountains and shit.
Oh yeah.
Bring me through.
Yeah, you could be going from flat to up a giant hill really fast with no there's no warning for some reason. Like you just go around a corner and you're going up a huge grade. Like I remember a couple of times driving around in San Francisco at least, where I've vapor locked cars, trying to get them up and down, or cases where
Oh yeah.
they just didn't have the power.
Yeah. What's the street? The zigzag street there, the switchback one that's famous.
I think
in,
you're talking about
San
Lombard,
Francisco.
right? No, Lombard's
I
not
think
that
it's
one.
called, like Hyde or something. Hyde
Hyde
Street.
Yeah, it's even like you can Google it. It's like the most crooked street in the world. How
Yeah.
am I not remembering this?
Next
I
time.
thought it was Hyde Street. I'm gonna look it up.
Make you
HYDE Hyde Street. Does that sound right? No.
must rest.
No, there's a Hyde Street, but that's not the one. Hyde is like still a neighborhood. It was like the big gay neighborhood. Crookedest street in the world, San Francisco. No, it is Lombard Street. I was right. It is
Okay, you got
Lombard.
it.
It's just Lombard continues on. It's only the crooked is actually Vermont Street between 20 and 22nd Avenue. Oh, some people say it might be Snake Alley in Burlington, Iowa. So there's competition for what's the most crooked street.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to beat. If it's beating that one, it's not by much, dude.
Yeah, so Lombard Street, because I've been on Lombard and it's not that crooked. But then, like, what part of Lombard was I on? I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hilly roads, but not quite that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems
I
like the rest of them are.
don't remember
like in
where it
areas
was because
that
I was
make sense.
very lost when I got vapor locked. But I had to, in order to get up the hill, I had to back up a one-way street, and it was lucky it was just in the middle of the night, no one was there. I had to back up like a
Right.
block and get my car going a good 50 miles an hour in order to keep
Goddamn.
it going high enough. And I just went through like 4 fucking stop signs to get to the top of this fucking street. And thank God my brakes were
Damn.
good because I was riding those and riding the fucking clutch all the way down. Because, you know, like you go like down in like second or third gear, depending on how many gears you have, to go down a street,
Right.
to hold the speed back when you're going downhill in a stick shift. Because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you downshift to slow yourself down. I
slow
gotcha.
yourself down, help catch it. I was riding the brakes and downshifting down to like second gear. And it was
Damn.
fucking, that car smelt funny for a while. The clutch was very burnt that evening. Probably should have had the clutch replaced after that. But that was because it was a fucking 94 Toyota Tercel and it had like fucking 72 horsepower at max. You know,
Right.
like the maximum horsepower. That's when it was made. It would have had like 95, but it probably had about 75 at that point. Whereas I like to refer to it as 72 squirrel power. Because it was not a fucking... It was not a strong vehicle. Oh, man. But fun car to drive. Fun car to drive. Low gas. Really cheap on gas. Holy shit, it was cheap on gas.
I had a fucking. God damn it! What was the Geo car? The fucking the.
I know what you're
Geo-
talking about, and I can't think of the name.
Metro.
Geo Metro. We used to.
Yeah, the 3-cylinder.
we used
The
to-
3-cylinder car.
We used to fuck with those cars when they would come in at the Costco Tire Center, because Costco Tire Center had these like polished concrete floors. And what we would do is we would get 2 guys, one on each side of it, and we would start bouncing the car up and down like you're checking the shocks. And it was so light that we would get it bouncing, and then we would just slide it back and forth on the floor like it was nothing. It was so easy. You just like moving around.
Yeah. No, I used to call it because, well, especially in the 90s, Vanilla Ice made the 5.0 fucking Mustang so famous. So, yeah, mine was a 1.0. This is my 1.0 Geo Metro. It was
I remember
literally a
looking under
one-
the hood of that car for the first time I saw one. Because one of the mechanics
Like,
was
what
like, you
is
ever
this,
see
fucking
one of these
lawnmower
cars when I was
motor?
changing tires at Sears Auto? And I was like an
Right,
18-year-old
right.
kid. So he's like, you ever see one of these cars? And I'm like, nah, this is a pretty fucking crazy little car. And he's like, oh, no, come over here. Let me pop the hood for you. Pop the hood, and he's like, take a look at that. And I'm like, is that a fucking lawnmower engine? Is that a real fucking motor?
Yeah. Not even a riding lawnmower. Just a regular lawnmower motor.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. Yeah, no, yeah, for anybody listening, the 1.0 and the 3-cylinder, not jokes. It was a 3-cylinder, 1.0 liter engine.
If I were dealing with, like, if it was the apocalypse and you had to, like, you're, like, living, and, there's nobody, almost all the people are dead, and you're one of the few survivors sort of drifting through the fucking ruins, that would not be a bad choice.
Yeah, you
Because
definitely
you
wouldn't
could
have to
literally
set up the gas
fix
at all.
that car. You could just pull the motor out anytime you wanted and replace it with another motor. You know what I mean? Like, it's so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, but again, amazing fuck. God damn.
Oh, I bet it
Yeah,
ran
not
for
long.
fucking ever.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because I went to,
That was one of those very
Like,
few cars that was genuinely made extremely well, so that when you bought it, you didn't have to keep buying more cars. Like,
yeah,
none
that
of the
was,
Geo Metros I've ever seen were like new. They were all super fucking old.
yeah, they didn't make that Geo brand for very long.
Like, if you had a 70s era Honda or Toyota, fucking, those will run forever. It's like that car that they
Yeah.
don't want to bring over, or the pickup truck that they're super afraid to bring over. The
Right.
what is it? The key truck or something or whatever. It's got like the removable fucking, like, because like truck beds have the little like walls on the bed of the truck.
Right.
This one's got the one. It's like the Japanese truck where you can remove the walls if you want, or like fold them down instead, or something. It's got all these different configurations you can do to the back of it, and it's like super cheap. It's like $10,000, and you
Wow,
can
so
have
they
it,
just don't let it over?
and they won't let it over because it's not an electric car. It's a gas car. That's their
Of
excuse,
What
and
the
so
fuck,
it's
dude?
unfortunate because it's a it's a kind of a really, really fucking great vehicle.
Utilitarian.
It's the kind
Yeah,
of
very
vehicle that gives
utilitarian.
people upward mobility, in the sense that you
Okay.
could use it. You could use it to start a junk hauling business. You could use it to start a landscaping business. You could use it to start a furniture moving business. You could use it to start. There's all these different configurations you can put on the back of this thing. You could make it. You can get a little cherry picker on there and make a fucking tree trimming business with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
so
Like,
all kinds of
there's
shit. You can make it a
fuck tons
flatbed.
of
You can make it a
things.
regular pickup.
You could make
Yeah,
it
I
a
can see
refrigerator.
that.
You could make it a refrigerated vehicle for like moving like having a big refrigerator back on it. You could make it into a food truck. You could make it like there's literally no fucking end to how many things you can make this. And on top of that, it's extremely reliable, extremely inexpensive to repair, and it gets pretty good gas mileage. Depending on how much it weighs,
Definitely
if you get like
lighter,
one of the
lighter.
more crazy heavy things, it's going to get less gas mileage, but that's not, it's still good for what it is. It's good gas mileage for what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can understand why they don't want that kind of thing around.
Oh yeah, well they're trying to force everybody to be electric cars, but I'm pretty sure Trump's going to kill that. Because it's, you know, fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, because you know, like you
Not exactly market friendly.
well, number one, electric cars does not mean environmentally friendly.
Right, right.
Like that's not a thing. It just because it's electric doesn't mean it's good for the environment. Like that lithium mining and all that other stuff, that's pretty fucking bad for the environment, bro. Like,
yeah, lithium and what's the other one? Cobalt, right? Cobalt's
cobalt.
another one that's
and then these batteries, they get, you know, after you've had it for a certain amount of time, the batteries have to be replaced. They're not good forever, just like by magic. You know, you gotta fucking replace these batteries. So it's like, you know, what do you expect? You know, I don't know. Like the whole thing is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, dude.
But you know, like
friendly. Yeah.
So like,
it's also like the vegans. Like how many animals die just from the crops? Like how many ducks? Ducks is a big one apparently. Apparently, it's very bad for ducks. Somewhere, farming is they get chewed up by the machinery or something.
Oh well, yeah, like farming,
mice.
Industrial farming kills a lot of animals. Just as general rule. There's a ton of animals that die when you're farming industrially.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. But there's also no way to feed the amount of people we have on the planet without industrial farming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like we can just go, oh well, you know, it's not good for the environment, so we'll just stop doing it. It's like, well, if we just stop doing it, then we're just not going to have fucking people anymore. There'd be a lot of dead people.
Right.
So yeah, that's a weird one. But the other thing with the electric cars is you have to replace those batteries after a few years. So let's say you, as some poor guy that's making, you know, minimum wage or very low wage somewhere, barely scraping by, you somehow manage to scrape enough money to buy that electric car. In like 5 years, when you've just paid off the loan, you're gonna have to buy another fucking electric car. You're gonna have to spend almost the same amount of money just to buy fucking batteries.
Yeah, the batteries are insanely priced, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna buy like just the battery. Yeah, that's what I remember hearing about. Fuck, I can't remember what car it was, but yeah, it was like literally almost the cost of the an entire brand new car.
Yeah, it's like 80% the
price.
cost of the vehicle to get the batteries. In most cases.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, like if you think about it, it's an absolutely ridiculous amount of money that they're charging for these batteries. It's unconscionable. So this is the kind of thing that like rich elites think is good for everybody because they have no fucking idea what it's going to mean to real people in the real world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially they tried to outlaw large scale meat ranching in my area. This last election. Yeah, this last election they were like, oh, we're gonna kick out all the places that all the places that have cattle and dairy. We have a lot of dairy farms and a lot of beef farms. We also have a lot of poultry. We have some poultry and some egg farms as well that are pretty big. And they were trying to outlaw them. Like, well, then where are we gonna get our fucking food?
Wow.
And there was no reason. It was not an environmentally friendly thing that they were proposing at all. It was there's no environmental impact. It was just they wanted to shut down these farms because somebody said green and they were like, oh, okay, we'll just shut down.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It got kicked out by 90%. Even in California, one of the most liberal fucking states in the world.
Widely rejected.
It was completely rejected because everybody was like, you're insane. Like, this is where our food is. Like, you can't just stop growing cattle. Like,
yeah, no, it's the thing I've noticed about the more states is they seem to want to enact laws and govern. Like they look at it like, well, this is the way the world should be, so we're gonna like legislate as if that's how it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work out that way. The fake it till you make it doesn't really work in that scenario.
No, the whole thing was absolutely bonkers. What they're proposing didn't make any sense. And so the there was like a whole radio. I heard so many radio commercials from farmers who were saying like, look, it's not just that you won't have these farms anymore. It's that all of the people that work for us are just gonna be out of a job on the street, like fucking done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's they don't seem to be able to. Not a lot of forward thinking, like you know what I mean, or even thinking things through at all in the fucking short term.
Yeah. Like where's the food going to come from if we shut down all these farms? It's really what you should be thinking at that point.
I assume they'd be like, well, from the grocery store. That's what food always is.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
And,
like they
it's
think
like,
that's
and
like
where does the grocery store get the food, little boy? You know, like you fucking moron.
Yeah. It just magically shows up, right? It just poofs into the stores. That's how it works.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you just
You just wish hard enough, and the food shows up.
Yeah, the whole thing was bonkers. But luckily, like 90% of people voted no. So, or 90% of the people who voted no. Thank God.
Yeah, right. Like even we're not that fucking nuts.
Yeah, thank God. That was one of those ones that had the potential to be extremely dangerous. That was the thing I was happiest about after Trump being elected.
Right.
Because I was like, that would have been disastrous for like our local economy, just as a general like rule.
Yeah, and with your state, you never know. No matter how fucking insane it is, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it didn't happen, thankfully, so we got to keep our ranches and our dairy farms and stuff like that.
Yeah, it turns out not all the residents are quite as fucking nuts as they are being portrayed as.
Well, I don't think California is necessarily. I don't know that there's a lot of blue states out there anymore. I think there's a lot of blue cities, and I think that they're the ones controlling the elections.
Oh yeah,
and I think that there's a lot of places where the reality is that they've been red for a while, but the elections have all just been rigged, so they don't get a choice.
Yeah, or they're just overwhelmed by the fact that more than half the population is in the major city or cities.
Yeah, that's also a thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think there's still some blue states. I'm sure there's some states that are still totally like Democrat, but I think a lot of them are a lot closer to purple than one would believe.
Yeah.
When you take out the vote rigging, I think that if elections were done in a way that anybody could review the results without any real difficulty, I think you'd see a lot of different results.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's why the Democrats, I have to imagine, are terrified at this point.
Yeah.
Because they know what the real numbers should be. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I don't think some of them probably. I assume most of them understand how wildly unpopular they've become.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and one of Trump's biggest campaign promises that I think a lot of people really were hoping would be carried out is he's talking about he wants open, fair, and honest elections.
All right, he's got to go.
He's he's saying elections should be done the day of. There should be records that anybody can go through and look at to prove that they were 100% honest. And they shouldn't involve any question at all. You should never have to question whether or not it was legitimate. Of course, he was also
for
talking
sure.
about eliminating income tax. He was saying, you know, if we do tariffs properly, there's no reason to have an income tax in the United States. There should be no federal income tax. Which is, you know, pretty fucking crazy.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's an interesting.
But he's saying, like, realistically, you should be able to make enough money off of tariffs if done properly, because you don't want to chase all the business away. Like, you don't want, you don't want to have like a situation where nobody has a job and there's no companies anymore. But there's no reason that we should have an income tax, federal income tax. It should all be done with tariffs. According to him, he says, I think that's a very possible, a possible thing to do.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe you could. I feel like you'd have to transition to that.
Oh yeah, he wasn't saying like overnight. Yeah, he was very clear. Like, this isn't something that would happen overnight. But you know, he's like, I want to at least try to start the process because, you know, tariffs will also bring manufacturing here and you know, all that kind of thing.
Hey, that's pretty ambitious. It'll be interesting to see what he can get done.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I think that would be pretty cool. And it's not even about having more money in my pocket as much as it is just saying, like, that's more of what the founding fathers would have wanted. Because they were very much against taxation without representation. They did not want to have standing armies. They did not want to have standing armies. They did not want to have all these federal agencies. One of the biggest problems we have right now with our government is the bloat. There's so many government agencies that even the government doesn't know how many there are.
Yeah.
Like, they can't tell you we have 500 government agencies because they don't fucking know the number. And there's more created every fucking year. It sucks money out of our fucking pockets. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's got to be all kinds that just don't.
That was part of running the country with tariffs. Is you got to cut the fucking bloat. You got to go through and say, like, all these over-regulation industries, because a lot of those government agencies are there just to create and enforce regulations that are completely unnecessary and don't do anybody any good. Like, they're under the guise of environmentalism, but 99% of the time it has nothing to do with the environment. It's just people making money off of claiming to be environmentally friendly. That's all it really is. You know, it's like, yeah, you don't want people dumping chemicals in the water. You don't want people polluting the air. You don't want people, what do you call it, destroying, like, the fucking groundwater. You don't want the groundwater being, like, fucking poison. But that doesn't mean you can't have a business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of fucking.
Yeah, there has to be some way to do it. So, like, you know, there's a very good chance that if you were to, you know, cut some of this bloat and get rid of, and like institute tariffs, you could bring a lot more manufacturing back, and that's where you get a lot of the upward class mobility is from manufacturing jobs.
All right.
You know, a lot of people, that's how they go from middle to upper class, or middle to lower class, or from lower to middle class, I should say. I don't know why I was thinking middle to upper. But that's how you go from, you know, lower to upper, or to middle class, is you have a chance to go work at a factory where you can earn enough money to, like, pay for college for your kids, you know? Then your kids can go on to become middle class people instead of lower class.
Yeah. Upward mobility.
Yep. Which is a thing that a lot more people should be concerned about in the United States, because it's really what made our country so great for so long, is the fact that if you worked really, really hard, you didn't have to be living from paycheck to paycheck in relative poverty.
Yeah. You didn't necessarily have to do what your parents had whatever.
Yeah, you didn't have to live at the same level as your parents. Oh, God. This is getting fucking obnoxious. Every time I want to take a fucking vacation, or the cunt that works the other ones wants to take a vacation.
Something pops up.
Yeah. They want to try to fucking switch shifts with me.
Oh, is that the one that's always?
Yeah, she
Doing
want,
that?
like I put in for vacation. I'm not interested in switching shifts with her so I can take a week off. I want the whole fucking time off.
Right.
I want my weekend before, my weekend after, and the week that I'm taking off. That's why I put in vacation for the way I did. Why would I want to switch shifts? That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just I wouldn't, dude.
It's not a fucking
that's pretty
vacation
shitty to
anymore.
even ask. Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
Pretty shitty of her to even ask. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm only asking for 4 days off. It's not like I'm asking for a fucking moon.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it's absurd. It's like I have all this vacation time. I'd like to use it. I don't wanna switch shifts. I want to use my vacation time. It's part of my pay.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I like you said, I think it's just shitty that they even ask. I think it's totally inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that takes a special kind of fucking self-absorption. Yeah, I know you want your vacation off, but I want. Yeah, that's actually kind of fascinating. Yeah, I cannot imagine doing that. Like, oh, I see why he wants his time off. I've done all this shit for a really long time, constantly switching shifts. But, nah, I'm going to make him switch so he gets less days off in a row. Just fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yes,
like,
yeah, from what you described of her, it shouldn't be that surprising, I guess.
yeah, she was like not like. Here's the thing that this is a total petty thing. It's not a big deal, but it drives me absolutely bonkers. But I'm willing to admit it's 100% petty. There are, for some fucking reason, 3 fucking storage containers. 3 of those big plastic storage bins that are like flat that you slide under your bed. Like a really, really big one and 2 regular big ones. And fucking, what do you call it? For some reason we have like all these extra things that we don't need stored in them under the office bed, the bed in the office, right? Because there's 2 of us. We switch back and forth. The only thing you need is 2 quilts, 2 fitted sheets, and for some reason we have 4 fucking pillows that neither of me or her use. And so there's 4 pillowcases, right? So you need 8 pillowcases, 2 fitted sheets, 2 quilts. That's all you need. You could make the argument that you also need 2 flat sheets, but we've got like 6 flat sheets and like 5 different fitted sheets now for some reason, and like 4 blankets that are like not, 2 of which never get used because they're little tiny thin blankets that no one wants to use.
All right.
I don't sleep in the bed. She doesn't sleep in the bed. We both sleep on the bed and bring our own bedding from home. Mainly for me because it's a group home, and group homes have things like lice and bed bugs and fucking things go around all the time, dude. And we're still using the same fucking washing machine and dryer that they're using. I'm putting a fucking protective sheet down and sleeping on top of that. I don't care what anyone says. It's not because I don't like the clients. It's not, I don't think they're dirty. I just think that when you have like 12 people living in one house, you're going to have some fucking, those are going to be concerns.
I get it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, and so
I'm really uncomfortable with any my own filth. I
yeah,
don't do it well with anyone else's filth.
yeah. I'm fine sleeping in my. If it was just dirt, I wouldn't be a problem. I don't care. But I don't want to sleep in ringworm and fucking lice and bed bugs and fucking pink eye and shit like that. Like I don't want to get that shit. It's not fun.
Indeed, I haven't experienced it, but I can imagine it would be unpleasant.
Neither have I, and I haven't because I have always been extremely careful.
Yeah.
So, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing that
Just
gets
the thought
me
of such
is
things.
we could take what we need and store it in 2 bins. One bin that holds, like, the big bin holds a blanket, whichever one's not being used while the other one's on the bed. And the other bin holds the sheets and the pillowcases. Right? And I set it up that way so that you only have to pull out one set and it's on one side of the bed. And you never even have to pick up the other fucking case. For some reason, she always distributes everything, redistributes it into all 3 of those cases.
Oh, wow.
So that in order to change the sheets and stuff on the bed, I have to like fucking pull out all 3 instead of just pulling out the 2 on one side. And it drives me up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're making more work than needs to be for no reason at all.
That's very odd.
You would think that at some point she would notice that every single time all the pillowcases, the fitted sheet, and the blanket are all on one side in those 2 containers so that you don't have to fuck with the other container.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on. I think she's just retarded is what it is.
Yeah, it's tough to know if it's she's that stupid or kind of weird to it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Probably stupid.
Little bit
but
of both.
You never know. Right.
Potentially a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I can't stand the lady.
Yeah, no, she sounds like a fucking nightmare, dude.
Yeah. I love the concept that I'm supposed to switch shifts so I can go on a fucking vacation for 2 weeks. It's like, no, I'm taking a week off so that I get almost 2 weeks of vacation intentionally. It's like I fucking planned it that way. Why on earth would I want to give up half of the fucking time that I'm going to be off?
Yeah, no, like I said, I assume she's aware of that situation. You would hope, without even being told, she'd fucking understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just asking for it is...
Well, and the vacation I'm asking for is like the December 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So it's not even like a holiday thing or anything. So I'm not like inconveniencing anyone or asking for something that's unreasonable.
Right.
You know, I'm not like being like, oh, hey, I want Christmas off.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts, dude.
Right? Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I had kind of the opposite. When I worked at Liberty Mutual, the way the schedule broke out right around Christmas, there was like a day where I could switch, like a Monday to a Wednesday, to where I got like fucking essentially a week off straight. And I just put in, like, hey, is anybody switching this or whatever? And like fucking people volunteered like right away. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, no, I owe you one, and he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, yeah, no, I see what you're going
and
for.
like I said, I offered to cover her day off that she requested off. I said, I'm totally fine covering the 28th so she can take that day off. I'm just not interested in switching days. If I'm going to cover a shift, I want the overtime.
Yeah.
That's the purpose. Yeah. That's my benefit from covering the shift.
Yeah.
I get an extra 8 hours of pay, and you get 8 hours, and you get to get your 8 hours of pay from your time off. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
That's why you do it. It's a fucking win-win for both of us. That's how it fucking works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the sort of unwritten sort of like rule of being in a company when you're working with other people is you both win. When one person takes vacation, one person gets a little extra money, and the other person gets a little extra time.
I remember when
find it mind-boggling that she keeps trying with this fucking switching shit. You know what it makes me think? You know that little fucking cunt kid when you're in school who's like a little apple polishing little fucker who's like, weren't we supposed to have a quiz today, teacher? Makes me think of that little fucker. You know what I mean? Like little fucking apple polishing shit. Fucking ruins it for everybody.
Yeah. Or is she just someone who's miserable and just wants to make shit miserable for as many other people as possible, or inconvenient, or whatever she can cause, less joy in the world.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know that for all the fucking noise she makes about running laundry and stuff, she never once ran the sheets and the blanket through the washing machine. When we only had the one set, she never once changed it or ran them. And I know this because I took a really big, thick piece of red string and put it under the corner of one of the between the sheet and the bed.
Right.
And I did that for like 4 weeks, and it never once moved.
Yeah.
So all this stuff she makes about like, oh yeah, I'm doing this and that and the other thing, running this laundry, never once did any of it move. I think what she was doing was taking the blanket off of the top and running it through the dryer for like 10 or 20 minutes with a dryer sheet so that it would smell like detergent.
Wow.
Which
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
care because
not like
I'm not
it's
sleeping
fucking-
in the bed, I'm sleeping on the bed for that reason specifically.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah. No, it's just odd though. Like it's not like, I don't know. There's something weird in women's head where they count. My ex did that. Fucking pissed me off. Counting the time that the washing machine is running as time spent doing laundry.
What?
Yeah.
Laundry takes 10 minutes. You just have to wait while the machine runs. It's not, you're not spending an hour doing laundry. No.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's not
even with the free tool.
okay. If you
Yeah,
had
that's
to
what it takes
stand
time.
there and watch the fucking machine run the whole time, okay, yeah, it takes an hour to
Yeah.
do laundry. But you could just walk
Yeah,
away
right.
and let that shit run. You don't even have to stay in the house. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you
so,
can literally
yeah.
just walk in anytime you want. You can just walk out and be like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, that's an odd one because again, I'm fucking lazy. So if I'm like, "What the fuck is your problem?" Run it through the laundry. Like it's almost no time. What? It's mildly inconvenient to get it. Get the sheet off the corners or something.
Well, one of the
Like,
things
what the
I've
fuck is her
noticed that a
objection?
lot of people are weird about that doesn't make a lot of sense to me is this sort of weird, like, not wanting to do the chores and stuff if you are the stay-at-home spouse.
Oh, right.
Like, see, and this isn't about male versus female. This is like if you're the guy or the girl and you're like staying at home and raising the kids, you should be the one
Right.
responsible for doing the majority of the household tasks. You really shouldn't be leaving chores for the other person to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this whole concept that like, oh, the guy should take out the garbage and he should mow the lawn. Not really. You have a lot of fucking time. Even with raising the kids, like you're taking them to school and dropping them off, and then you're going home and doing what? Sitting on your ass all day while your wife or your husband is out there working their butt off, paying the bills. Like, nah, dude. Fucking get some chores done, bro. Do some fucking work. Like, come on.
It is kind of a diluted sense of entitlement.
Yeah. It's like
Very, very
because it's some sort of cachet woman power thing. You should somehow be able to be the at-home wife and not have to go have a job, but you should also be able to do absolutely nothing all day long, which is bizarre.
Yeah, it's a definitely an odd one.
Yeah, like nobody's asking for much. They're saying, hey, you're home all day anyway, and the other person is doing all this work so that you can be home all day. Why don't you like vacuum the floors and do the dishes and do the laundry. Like, do a little grocery shopping and cook some food.
Yeah, even my ex
I'd be
complained
fucking
about
down.
that shit.
Baby,
Yeah,
I'd be so fucking
same.
down to be the house husband. Are you kidding me? I'd have that place spotless.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, even my ex, who complained about everything, complained about that.
Yeah.
Doing the actual fucking chores.
I'm not saying they're easy. I totally understand. They're a pain in the ass. Nobody wants to do them. I get it. But, like, you know, if you're not
Yeah, it's still
spending 8
still
to 10
far
hours a day working to pay all the bills, you're not doing anything else. You should be doing that. That's why it's called a partnership.
Yeah, it's
not
still
a
far easier.
It's not a solo mission. You're partners.
Yeah. Yeah, even like at Liberty, it's actually even that, I'd still rather be at home. If money's going to be the same either way, I'd still rather be staying at home.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I'd be happy to do all that stuff for a partner that was supporting me and paying all the bills. You know? Now, if you're like an OnlyFans couple where all you do is just fucky for like money on the TV, then you got to split the chores. Like you're just having sex for fucking in front of a camera to pay your bills, and then you have the whole day. Other than that, like once or twice a week. Yeah, come on, fucking split the chores. That's that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, isn't that what that squirrel couple? Everyone thing. Didn't they do like fucking OnlyFans porn too?
I don't know.
Did you hear that story at all?
The squirrel couple? I know. You're talking about Peanut the squirrel that got killed. I know that. I didn't know anything about the owners.
Yeah. It's weird that nobody cares about the raccoon. Yeah.
The raccoon. Okay, I haven't heard about the raccoon.
Yeah, there's a squirrel and a raccoon they had. Both got put down.
Oh, nobody cares about the raccoon, but raccoons are such adorable little bandits. Why haven't I heard about this? I've only heard like fourth and fifth hand about the squirrel. I didn't like follow them at all, so I didn't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, raccoons even have the little, eye mask band, around the. They're fucking adorable. There is. I don't know why, but yeah, everybody's bent out of shape about the squirrel. I don't know. It seems odd to me. Why are squirrels illegal to have as pets?
I don't
didn't really
know.
look into it.
The only thing that mattered to me in that particular case was there was no medical reason to put the squirrel down. Like their claim that the squirrel was going to have rabies was spurious because it had already been owned for like 9 years, and after 4 years, for a fact there's no chance of rabies. So there was no potential for rabies. There was absolutely no reason whatsoever to put the squirrel down. That was just total bullshit on the part of the government. That was unnecessary and intentionally cruel. The other part that bothers me is they went and seized the squirrel while he was in the process of filing the paperwork to make the squirrel legal for him as an educational. Oh, wow. So he would have the squirrel essentially is like, hey, I tried to rehabilitate this squirrel and release it back into the wild. It's not safe to rehabilitate it. It's not possible to rehabilitate it. We just can't do that. It cannot be released to the wild. So we're going to keep it for educational purposes to teach people about squirrels.
Yeah.
And that would have been perfectly fine. And he was in the process of filling out and getting that paperwork authorized. So the whole thing was absolute fucking nonsense from that perspective. Because, like, he was doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking evil, man. What the fuck?
I suspect.
Although I don't know. Apparently, from what I understand, is that's like the way it is. Like the process or whatever anywhere is like when you seize a pet that's like an illegal pet to have, they almost always put it down, like almost immediately. Which
in a lot of cases, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems odd.
I think that he was in the process of filling out the paperwork so that it would have been a legal pet.
I
think somebody had a personal issue with the YouTube channel for some reason, and was
I heard it was a neighbor.
Personally, well, I think some bureaucrat had a personal issue with it too, though. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like
gotcha.
the neighbor that
gotcha.
reported them obviously has a fucking problem. But I'm saying like some bureaucrat
Yeah.
took it personally that he
Also
had a
had an
YouTube
odd
channel with
issue.
an illegal pet or something and was like mad or had some fucking bullshit reason.
Yeah. 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 It seems very odd that all that happened. That they bothered raiding the house at all. Like I forgot what did they
Was
say the actual
bizarre.
complaint
Yeah,
was?
the whole thing was fucking weird.
What was the initial complaint? Like, why did they show up there? What did the person complain?
Squirrels are
Like, the
illegal
complaint-
and dangerous and could potentially have rabies,
Oh, okay.
which is true. Squirrels could potentially have rabies. That's absolutely true. But he'd owned it for 9 years, and so that potential is absolutely not there.
Not there.
100%
Yeah.
scientifically know, beyond the shadow of any doubt, reasonable or otherwise,
Yeah.
that it's not possible at that point. So
Yeah, he has had no interaction with bats in the last 9 years or any other animal, so it was pretty safe. What are the ones that usually have rabies? Because I'm thinking of that just because of Cujo, so I don't know if that's even remotely accurate.
bats are more likely to have rabies than squirrels by like a substantial
Yeah.
margin.
Are there other animals? Raccoons can have
Raccoons
too,
are.
assume.
I don't think raccoons are super prone for rabies specifically, but they are prone to having a fuck ton of parasites.
Gotcha.
So like
Alright,
it's
makes a little more
extremely
sense.
common for raccoons to have just a ton of different parasites. So they're not safe to have as pets. Like they're really not. You should
Right,
not have a
right.
raccoon as a pet. They're also usually only like handleable by
Outside
the
animal?
family that has them as a pet. So like
Right,
if,
right.
if your family passes away and your fucking your cousins come over to take the raccoon, odds are the raccoon's going to be vicious and harm them.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody that's not part of their family, their pack or whatever. Yeah.
They're not like friendly, cuddly, cute little animals either. Even to the families that own them, they can be potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, they show a lot of really cute fucking scenes and 5-second clips and shit on YouTube where people have raccoons. But that's like the 10 seconds that are great. You're not seeing the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week reality of it. So
Right.
yeah, it's like ferrets are make good pets for the most part. But like what are the other ones? Shoats or there's like another animal that looks similar to them.
Stoat.
Stoats, yeah, those.
Stoat. Yeah.
You don't want one of those as a fucking pet.
Yeah.
They're fucking
Yeah,
cute, but they'll chew your fucking hand off.
Yeah, well, even ferrets are kind of fucking vicious.
Well, they're
Obviously not
illegal
as
in a lot of
much,
places
but-
for good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say they all seem pretty fucking homicidal. Stoats and ferrets, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm
Those
not a
things
fan
are
of
fucking-
I'm not a fan of owning ferrets either. Ferrets are fucking. They smell awful.
Yeah,
I saw this thing
can't
from
say
fucking
it's-
what's his name? This fucking computer programmer guy on Twitch, and usually he's spitting real good facts. Thor, I guess his name is. Like he used to work for Blizzard, and he's always talking about like he's very knowledgeable about like hackers and computer programming and video game stuff and computer software stuff. And he was talking about ferrets because he owns one. And he says ferrets don't smell bad. They only smell bad when you bathe them because it removes the essential oils from their coat and blah blah blah. That is not fucking
What the
true.
fuck? Yeah, I was gonna say what the
Bullshit.
fuck, dude.
My buddy owned 2 ferrets, and I guarantee you he never once bathed those motherfuckers, and they smelled horrific.
Yeah.
His whole house smelled
Shocking.
like ferret. You would not be able to walk in that house and not be like, the fuck is that stink? The only reason he had a roommate who would tolerate it was because his roommate lost his sense of smell in a car accident.
That's fucking amazing.
And so here's the really gross part. His roommate chewed tobacco, so you had these ferrets that were fucking stinking up the place. My buddy never changed his cat litter box, so there was the cat fucking feces and urine smell. And then on top of that, this motherfucker that had lost his sense of smell chewed tobacco constantly and would just
Wow.
leave spit cans and spit cups all over and bottles of empty bottles of beer with spit in them from the tobacco all over the place constantly.
Yeah, that must have been a fucking treat. Fucking hang out.
Oh God! Well, you know, like it was the tail end of high school, so we were all like just barely driving, and we would go and hang out and play like D&D and stuff at this guy's house or watch movies and shit. Because he was just a little bit older than us. So it was like, yeah, we get to like not have to worry about parents, and we're, you know, hanging out in an actual like a nice house, not some shitty fucking like clubhouse somewhere, like, you know, I don't know where you would hang out when you're that age anywhere else really, other than like, you know, somebody's house and dealing with parents.
Yeah, no, I had a friend whose mom was the overly permissive that let us smoke weed and fucking drink and shit.
Nice,
so we were fortunate enough to have that. Yeah, get the fuck.
Yeah, so we weren't even doing drugs. We weren't even drinking. We were just like didn't want to be fucking bothered by the parents while we were hanging out and doing dumb shit, playing video games, watching movies and playing D&D. But honestly, like if it hadn't been the case where he was like 2 years older than the rest of us, I don't think anybody would have wanted to hang out at that house on purpose.
Understood. Plus, yeah, when you're younger, you don't realize quite how fucking weird some shit is, and how.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It totally didn't even occur to me that was disgusting. When I was that age, I was just like, whatever. He you know, he didn't need to clean his room. Shut up, mom. You know, like fucking that kind of dumb shit.
Yeah. It's kind of like, if you're new, you don't know a whole lot. You're like, everything seems like it happens more than one weird, you know, when you get older, you're like, holy fuck, that was weird. It seemed kind of weird.
Yeah.
When we were kids. But now,
well, his roommate with the Anosmia is the one who fucked my back up.
Yeah. Oh, wow, really?
He's the one that fucked up my back, yeah. He worked at a Sears Tire Center, and I got a job there because he was my friend's roommate, and he was like, "Oh, we're always hiring down there if you need a job," and I'm like, "Hey, put in a word for me. I'll fill out the fucking application." So, you know, I got my first job there. Best job ever, except for that situation.
Gotcha.
The problem was that he was dumb as shit, and he put me up on a forklift and then forgot 2 seconds later that he put me up on a forklift.
Oh, wow.
And then backed up while I was still at the top of the fucking forklift.
Jesus, dude.
Oh, yeah. If I could go back and cave his fucking skull in on the forklift, I would 100% smash his fucking skull in.
All right.
There's all these people that talk about forgiveness and shit. Like, I don't actively think about this guy or, like, hate him all the time or something like that. Like, I'm not, like, fucking dwelling on it. But it's like, if I could go back and beat the shit out of this dude, I fucking would.
Yeah.
Like, if I knew where he was now, I'd probably sneak in with a baseball bat and break his fucking back. You know?
Yeah, no, that is pretty, yeah. Yeah, I'm really forgiving for absent-mindedness to my own. But yeah, I don't tend to be that absent-minded when I have
I'm forgiving of absent-mindedness when it's not harmful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but when you have like 4 trash cans on a fucking pallet on the end of a forklift and a person, and you lift it up, and the person on top of the forklift starts pulling the first trash can over to the edge to tip it over into the dumpster, and you immediately just go and back up like you're done.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck
that
you.
That's not
at all acceptable. Number one, why the fuck was the forklift not turned off at that point?
Right.
You shouldn't even have had it running at that point. You should have had the forklift turned off until I called back out that I was good. And then, well, I shouldn't even be up on the forklift in the first place. That was a stupid bullshit thing that we weren't supposed to be doing. He said to me, because I'd never worked before, I didn't know this was ridiculous. I thought, oh, well, that seems dangerous, but I guess that's what you do at jobs. It's dangerous things. That's why they pay you. Because what
Right.
we were supposed to do is you drive the forklift around with the pallet, you pick up all these trash cans that are real heavy because they got like lead weights from the tires and shit, and rubber and all sorts of heavy shit in them. And then you get two guys and you pick it up and you dump it over the fucking dumpster. You don't lift one guy up on the forklift and have him do the whole thing up at the top while the other guy just sits on his ass in the forklift. So
Yeah,
the whole thing was
Jesus
because he
Christ.
was being lazy in the first place.
Oh yeah.
So he was being
Yeah, no,
lazy and
again.
didn't want to do the job the right way because it would have been hard for him to lift up his half of the trash cans. And paying
didn't even
zero fucking attention.
have enough care about fellow human beings to remember that you were fucking up there. That's
Well, not
fucking-
only that,
yeah,
but
that's
that he
beyond-
literally 30 seconds, or not even 30 seconds, it's literally like he lifted the forklift with me up. So, and then I start pulling the trash can after it reaches the top over to the edge. So I was going one direction and he backs the forklift the other direction the second I'm up there.
Get that bitch going.
And number one, why are you backing the forklift up at all? There was no reason to back the forklift up. You'd only lifted it straight up. There was nothing to
Yeah.
back up for it to be cleared from anyway.
Yeah, that seems fucking psychotic, dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And,
not
well,
a
and
good
I was
amazing
too dumb to understand that I should have gone to the doctor, even though I felt like I was sore, but I felt like fine. Like, oh, okay, that was sucked, but you know, I'm all right.
Yeah, it's not till the next day you realize you're completely fucked up.
Oh, even the next day, I felt better. I felt fine.
Oh wow.
I have an exceptionally high tolerance for pain, like ridiculously high tolerance for pain. Like I've stabbed screwdrivers into my hand and been like, oh, that's unfortunate, and just pull it out and fucking slap a Band-Aid over the hole. You know, like I picked up a burner that was hot, like an electric burner that was on,
Oh, Jesus,
and then
dude.
dropped it, ran my hand under cold water, put some burn cream on it, and went to bed.
Damn.
Like,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty good at
fucking
a lot of
have an
shit,
insane tolerance. I broke a tooth diagonally in half in my fucking head because my wisdom tooth impacted it, and just
All right.
ignored the pain and took some ibuprofen occasionally until it started to rot and became an abscess.
God damn.
And I was fine.
Yeah, no, mine's yeah, mine's actually pretty high, but yeah, because there have definitely been. I'm trying to. Yeah, burns I don't do well. Those fucking annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, beyond that, I'm usually pretty good.
The one benefit I had in a fight when I was younger was the person would hit me and I'd be like, yeah, good for you, buddy. Not gonna fucking stop me.
Damn.
I'm not some ninja. I'm just gonna keep fucking
Yeah.
coming at you because
Yeah.
it didn't register that you hit me. It didn't bother me much. I was like, oh, that wasn't very pleasant. I didn't like it, but that didn't really hurt much. You're
Yeah,
in trouble
no, I remember
now,
like
bub.
playing,
Come on.
playing football and shit. Yeah, it never hurt when I would go slamming into somebody. So yeah, I guess normal people feel that. Yeah, I'd just be running, not
I
feeling a
was
thing.
pissed off one day, and I was in the locker room in high school because I'd forgotten my fucking uniform again, and I was going to get in trouble for it. And I was so mad, and I don't know why, but I slammed my head into the locker because I was angry, and it didn't hurt me at all, and it was very satisfying. But the other people in the locker room looked over and were like,
What the
what
fuck?
the fuck was that? And then one of the guys was the guy that would carve shit into his arm with a razor blade because he thought it made him look really fucking cool and mean. Yeah. Even he was just like, all right, we're not going to fuck with that dude.
All right. He's like, I thought I was nuts, but holy fuck. This guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, just the pain tolerance is unreasonably high, and it's not a good thing. Like, it's funny, but it means like there's times when I really should have gotten like medical assistance and didn't fucking get medical assistance, and I really should have. Like, when my tooth broke, I should have had it removed immediately. I should not have waited until it turned into an abscess and came close to, like, potentially killing me with the infection.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I went
worse
to
than
the
mine. Like,
doctor, and they were like, he was calling and begging facial surgeons to take your tooth out. I don't know if you know, but, like, medical doctors
yeah, it was
do
serious.
not do dentistry.
Yeah.
Ever. They do
Yeah.
not fuck with your teeth. Only dentists
Yeah.
do dentistry. It is a real serious thing.
Yeah, yeah. God damn. Yeah, my wisdom teeth were fucking almost all grown in when I had mine pulled.
Oh, yeah, same.
So, yeah, that was definitely an unpleasant, definitely a lot of pain as those things were fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Aren't
think
you
the only
similar to
reason I
me
ever
in that
got
the
them
painkiller doesn't work all the way when you do dentist stuff?
No, not really. I mean, well, no, because they just did nitrous, I think, if I.
Oh, I had the
think they
little
just
the
did
little gas thing on your nose. Yeah, the nitrous. I was still awake.
Oh, yeah, no, that knocked me out, dude. I
And
assume I
that
have more
didn't knock me
tolerance
out.
than most people.
And the pain injections that they give me don't cover the pain all the way, which is unfortunate, but not really a big deal because it doesn't really bother me. I'm like, oh yeah, it hurts a little bit. It's not that bad.
Yeah. If you have a high pain tolerance, that is probably a good thing. If the painkillers don't really work for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just generally takes more of whatever when I take shit, but it usually works.
Yeah, it's like, well, I the one benefit I really am happy with though is, and I don't know if this is to do with my pain tolerance or what, is that I do not have any sort of like high from what do you call it? The Vicodin or Percocet or anything like that.
Opiate. Yeah.
I don't get the high from opiates. I just get the pain killing effect, which is good. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. That's not the word to have. I wish that were the case for me. That would have made life much less complicated over the years. If that were the case for me.
Yeah. That would have been a lot easier, huh?
Yeah. No, it turns out, it was an incredibly pleasant feeling that I got when I took the opiate painkillers.
Yeah. So that one I'm really happy with because I do have I smoked for a long time, so it's entirely possible that if that had been like a thing that got me high, it would have definitely been a preoccupation of mine for a while after that.
Yeah. Well, even mine, because again, my back was pretty fucked up from pretty early on. Yeah, it took a long time because I would hear stories a lot and go in the meetings and shit about people were like, "Yep," and that first time for me, it really wasn't. Like, I didn't really like it at first at all. Like, it made me too fucking drowsy, made me feel kind of dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Just not as sharp.
Yeah.
And it was unpleasant. But again, over the years, I think it was over like a good 10-year period where I, took them off and on before I actually got like actually addicted, where I was just taking them because I was like, well, I'm going to hurt. So I might as well take them.
Yeah.
But just wanted to get high. Yeah, it took like a decade, basically. So I guess that's kind of fortunate.
Well, that's
although maybe not.
That kind of mirrors a lot of people's experience, though, right? Like a lot of people have to take them for a while, and that's how they end up addicted.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's most of the addicts are hooked are kind of hooked the first time. Like that's pretty. I think that's
really
more common.
Yeah, because the first time I took
Vicodin,
Vicodin, I was like, I had heard people talking about it, and I'd seen things on TV. And so the first time I took Vicodin, I was like, oh, here we fucking go. Like, this is going to be great, right? Like, everybody really loves this stuff. And then I took it, and I'm like, well, I suppose if I wanted to, I could take a nap, but I don't really feel that sleepy, and I'm not, like, I'm feeling really, really super good for no real reason. I feel just normal.
Yeah, and if you've never taken shit before, even like a 5 milligram, shut up!
Yeah.
Fuck, dog.
Like, one of the things that always confused the shit out of me when I would take it when I was in my 20s or whatever for, like, I get, like, a teeth, drilled or something like that. That always confused the heck out of me was just, like, I was like, why are people so worried about driving when you take these, like Percocets and Vicodins?
Yeah,
Because I take
I
it
never
and I'm
got
like,
that.
oh yeah, I mean, I feel fine. Why would I have any problem driving? This isn't affecting me at all.
Look, it's okay, Poppy. Come on. Sorry, my dog's freaking out for some fucking reason.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Luke. He's guilting me into
But
staying
from what I
outside.
understand, a lot of people, it's like really dangerous if they drive while they're taking those things. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I never had that issue with them. So, yeah, the first time I took them was probably when when I got the end of my finger chopped off when I was like 16.
oh
And I was
yeah.
Tylenol 3s. And yeah, I only took them when my hand actually hurt. In fact, I didn't take them the night we got them when the accident happened because it wasn't hurting because it was still numb. So I didn't even bother taking it until I don't know a couple hours after I got home, and the fucking Novocaine and all that shit wore off. And
Oh
the pain was
that makes sense.
dude. The pain was so fucking intense, dude. I was like literally crying. And then, I was like, oh, wait, I got to take these. I forgot. But yeah, for like another good half an hour, dude, I was in agony, man.
Yeah, the worst pain I ever felt was from my fucking impacted tooth. That was the one that, like... and it was a combination of the pain and not being able to eat.
Yeah, tooth pain's pretty intense, dude. Yeah, I've definitely
Well, also
had
my mouth was
serious
locked closed, so the only thing I could do was, like...
Oh,
suck
right.
in like
Jesus,
applesauce or cottage cheese or like really soft like Campbell's soup.
Yeah,
like I
something
lived off
fluid.
of Campbell's soup, and then I would stir together like applesauce and cottage cheese and like eat those to like get enough calories.
God damn, how long do you have to do that for?
So it ended up being for like 3 weeks. Cause like I first went to a dentist through my like works insurance, and that was like a whole process of like a week or so. I'm trying to think because it's been a long time, and so there was like a lot of time that got wasted there because they didn't do anything, and they were like, just take some ibuprofen. What are you whining about? And like literally the side of my face is like the size of a baseball. Like I'm a squirrel sneaking in a fucking baseball on one side of my face. And I can't open my mouth more than enough to like get, it was like maybe a 1/4 inch or like 3/8 of an inch gap between my two teeth, my front teeth. So I could barely get enough room. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, just take some ibuprofen, and we'll talk. We'll see you in a week." And then my mom was like, "Fucking, that's nonsense." So she took me to the ER because she was like, "I don't think like you're not well," because I was apparently like feverish and fucking like from the infection and shit, and starting to get kind of delusional. And so luckily we went to the hospital, and I ended up getting. They gave me like a big fat injection of antibiotics the first day, and then I got pills for 3 days, and then another big fat injection after the pills, I think, or after the second day. I either came back the next day for another injection of antibiotics, or after the end of the pills. I can't remember which. But it was definitely one of those things where like they were definitely it took about a week for the what do you call it, the all the stuff to start working enough that the abscess blanched. So 2 weeks, I think about 2 weeks was like that. And then it was still not open, and it would open like, I could get it open like an inch at that point. Like it was still bad because the tooth was still broken and sore and all that.
Right.
And that's when we went to a dental surgeon that my mom found. And she talked to them and was like, all right, what do we need to do to make it so you can take this insurance? And he looked at the situation I was in and he was like, Jesus Christ, all right. Talked to his secretary and was like, we're going to make this work. We can't send this guy in good conscience anywhere else. And so he saw me after like 2 or 3 days. Was the quickest they could get me in. And had the antibiotics not worked and lanced the infection, he would have done it that day. Like he explained it, he's like, but the biggest thing was at the ER, the fucking I got Percocet. Yeah. So the first dentist I went to only gave me ibuprofen. The ER at Kaiser gave me like fucking Percocet or Vicodin or something like that. Something that actually killed the pain enough that I could sleep fine and everything. But mainly the reason I could sleep at that point was because the antibiotics were starting to like make me less feverish and delusional. But yeah, crazy fucking situation.
Yeah, dude, I would have been tempted to fucking sue that first fucking dentist that told you were.
Oh yeah, I was like 22. So like I had no fucking idea how any of that works.
Yeah.
Were I in the situation where it like, 10 years ago, like if I was in my 30s when it happened, I fucking 100% would have contacted an attorney.
Yeah.
Like there's no question I would have contacted an attorney. It would have been an open and shut fucking case, man. It would have been easy peasy. Yeah, that was a real wacky fucking situation of just brutal fucking mistreatment by the fucking doctor, or not the doctor, by the dentist, that first one, because like if you got a patient that can't open their fucking mouth and eat food, and you're like, take some ibuprofen, you'll be fine.
Yeah, walk it off, buddy.
Like, motherfucker, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, that was scary.
Shut up.
But I didn't die, so could be worse. Could always have been worse.
Yeah, good thing your fucking mom took you to the
oh yeah,
emergency room.
she figured like she was like you're not even walking straight. Like there's no fucking way.
Yeah. Ready to go inside? Yeah, my dog guilted me into staying out here this whole time.
Hey, you know what? Your internet's been connected the whole time, which is nice.
Yeah, no, I went with the mobile data from the beginning. I'm not even trying to use the fucking the Wi-Fi.
Ah, good.
I've learned that's just not gonna happen, so I don't even try. But yeah, he was when I was trying to get him to come in, he kept fucking running around, and then he was standing about 15 feet away and just had the fucking toy in his mouth. And I don't know, the look on his face was just like, I want to go inside. I want to stay out here. Hi, Poppy.
Well, contrary to popular belief, dogs do communicate. They just don't communicate with, words.
Yeah,
they don't
no, he was
understand
definitely
language, but they do understand. They absolutely do have thoughts and feelings, and they convey that with their body language.
Yeah, no, he was definitely looking at me like, come on, excited, please. It's kind of a pleading look at his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell when your dog doesn't want to leave, like the dog park, or go inside, or stop playing with the toy, or when they're hungry, or when they want to eat. And they know when you're feeling sad, they come over and give you like fucking cuddles and shit when you're not feeling good. Like they can fucking tell because we're co-evolved to a point where we read each other's body language rather instinctively.
All right, I don't know what I gave him for the signal, dude, but he fucking got it somehow. Now he's attacking me. You stop? Calm down. I want to pet you. I just want to pet you. Yes. Kick your butt.
Maybe
I'ma get the
maybe
fish
he
toy.
needs some
I'ma
loving.
get the fish toy. Ah. Oh, yeah, that's right. My son hasn't had him fucking fixed yet. Get the fish toy.
Oh, he's not a fixed dog? Oh
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
potentially unfortunate.
Yeah, it's
deal
kind
with
of cruel.
puppies.
Yeah. Well, he's not really around any other, but
Oh, that's not that bad then.
the other dog here is a female, but she's fixed, so that's not a problem. He does bark furiously at her until he gets to a spot where he can smell her ass. But beyond that, there's still a fence between them. Come on, bring it. You gotta bring it to me.
He wants to bang, no
But yeah,
doubt.
it is kind of. Yeah, it is kind of cruel. Like, I don't know. It's kind of always against it for most animals. Just being a guy, it seems like a fucked up thing to do. Fuck, what was this show? There was a dog show with this kind of uptight British lady. It's Me or the Dog, I think, what it was called. But anyways, she was talking about it. He's like, okay, imagine, you're intact or whatever, and you're just not allowed to have sex, like, ever.
Oh God. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that is pretty fucked up. Like, this poor dog has never gotten, so he's just got fucking jizz backed up like crazy. Get the fish toy. You ready to go inside? You wanna go inside?
You gotta buy him like a fucking doggy fucking real doll.
Yeah. Oh no, he has a oh shoot, not time yet. Thanks, sorry, what do you call it? He has a blanket fetish, I guess is the way to say it.
A blanket
Or
fetish.
towel, blanket, any of that kind of fabric shit, like towels or blankets or whatever.
He's figured out if he
immediately
rubs
wants to
himself
hump it.
the right way on the right kinds of fabric, it works.
Yeah. That's why I think I've told you this before, but like he has the one in particular that I've taped up with like Gorilla Tape in so many fucking spots. For him chewing it, not for him fucking it. But yeah, anytime like he'll bring it up to me and hold it in his mouth, and when I grab it, he immediately jumps up and wraps his front paws around it and starts humping it, right? And I'm like, well, all right, like, I don't know, maybe you can get off of this. So I'm like, I feel bad for him if not. So I like hold it. But then, yeah, halfway through, I started finding it real funny to say no eye contact as he's doing it.
Oh no.
For some reason. That's still really funny to me as he's humping away to go, no eye contact.
Oh no. You're like a pimp for your dog.
Yeah. My blanket hose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to jerk him off. I love the dog to death, but I'm not going to fucking Red Rock.
You're not going dolphin lady on him?
Fucking go. Dude. Yeah, dude, there was some guy online who turned out he's fucking sick as fuck. What do they call him? Zoophiles or something like that? But anyways.
Zoophilia. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are into fucking animals online.
Yeah, and like killing them. For some reason, they like not only fucking animals, but like torturing and killing them. I guess fucking them is torturing.
That's fucking
them.
weird.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's so. I feel so bad.
I knew about the sexing them thing, but the fucking torturing them thing is weird. Like,
dude, there was some.
Wouldn't you wanna like take care of them or something? I don't know. Them, never mind. I don't know why I'm trying to fucking. I'm overthinking that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there are some that are loving and fucking them or being fucked by them. But some of them are just that sick, Like this fucking one guy got off on slitting puppies open and fucking the hole.
Oh God. Oh, that makes that dead puppy commercial so much more disturbing that my friend made.
Oh God. I feel bad for sharing that. I feel like that should not be known by like any more people than is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's why I didn't share I didn't look that hard for the Boogie video of him ripping his shirt off out of frustration that Trump won.
Yeah, that is definitely
I was like, you
performative.
can imagine what that looks like. I found a clip that I really did not and will not share and strongly recommend you do not look for. But it is Boogie showing his meat curtains.
Yeah.
Where, like, there's just a weird flap
the
of
weight loss,
belly
it's
fat that
fucking
hangs out
wild.
over his dick, and there's, like, another secondary flap underneath that flap that hangs out over his dick.
Yeah, all kinds of excess.
And he's
skin
talking about
from, like,
ladies really like his meat flaps or something. It was just like, I
God,
don't think that's true.
Dude. Yeah, apparently that whole him being that angry is very much performative.
Yes.
There's a guy called Tommy C that's in the he's one of the commentary guys, but he's kind of on the
you can
outskirts.
tell he didn't give a shit about Trump being elected. He didn't even sound remotely like serious. Like it was like, Trump. Oh,
No,
I'm
he's
so
said that.
angry. You know, you're like, okay, all right, I get it. You're mad.
Tommy C is the one that used to host the Lolcow podcast before Keemstar fired him and tried not to pay him for what he had already worked. That's That's the Tommy C I'm talking. You're familiar with the Lolcow podcast? They used to have a host that wasn't Keemstar.
No, I never really listened to that.
Tommy C was that guy. I mean, not. I heard people covering it. I never actually watched the actual show itself.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the term Lolcow, so I know that term.
Yeah, no, well, you know that exists, though, right? It's Boogie and Wings of Redemption. They're the two Lolcows that have
they were the podcast. That makes sense. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, he was the host, and basically, Keemstar ended up like firing him because I don't know, they were asking about money and how much people were getting paid and shit. Actually, apparently he was on Baited too. If you remember Baited back in the day, I didn't, but apparently Keemstar did this show with Tommy C guy, and then Colossal was Crazy was the other guy, some clown character guy. Yeah, but anyways. Yeah, so the Keemstar like fired him and thought that it was okay to not pay him for like the month that he had already worked that he hadn't gotten paid for yet. So everybody was like fucking giving him shit about it until he finally just did the right thing and paid him.
Well, sooner or later, if the person had gotten an attorney, Keemstar would have had to pay him a lot fucking more. You know, so it's a good thing he did for him. You know, because you can't just like arbitrarily decide to keep a month's worth of wages when you fucking employ somebody.
Yeah. No, it's funny because like after the fact, he was like, "Oh no, I knew that's what was going to happen. Like it already happened with the other show, so I knew that was going to happen eventually." He's like, "I'm actually surprised it lasted as long as it did." So yeah, he knows, you know, the scumbag that Keemstar is, which I feel like everybody should by now, right? Like I feel like Keemstar just being a fucking terrible human being.
Why?
Should be pretty universally known, but I guess not.
Darkness and decay.
You would
But
think,
anyway, he said, sorry, back to my original point. Yeah, Tommy C said that Boogie had literally said behind the scenes, like, yeah, no, I don't really care that much about this shit, like the politics and all that.
Oh yeah.
So it's very much performative, which I know is pretty obvious anyway.
A lot of these people, just the vast majority, I would think of the outrage farmers. Is the way I look at them. I look at them as like farming outrage.
Not actually.
They don't care about the politics. They don't give a shit. They're only there to make money. I like Destiny. Destiny used to be a video game streamer. I don't think he really gives a shit about any of the politics. I think he's only there to make money. And that if it paid more to be a Republican person, he'd be a Republican person instead of a Democrat person.
Yeah, it just happened to be where he landed.
Well, I think he saw the writing on the wall and realized that there was less chance of getting banned or removed from as many of the platforms if he was pretending to be a Democrat than if he was pretending to be a Republican and give a shit about that instead.
Didn't stop him from getting banned from Twitch.
Well, that's because he's dumb.
Yeah.
Destiny's a fucking moron.
Well, he took on Keffels back when Keffels was at the height of her powers.
He's just Destiny's just not a very smart person though. Like if you listen to the way he argues things and his conversational stuff and what he says, it's very clear that he doesn't understand a lot of what's going on. Like he's just repeating
Yeah.
like talking points that other people have
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
He's not a very
No, he
smart
doesn't.
person.
No, he thinks because he does an insane amount of research that makes him have the insight and the intellect that makes him smarter.
Well,
seems to be the
research
attitude.
only matters if you're actually researching facts and you're not just researching bullshit that people have made up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that was my
there's a
interest.
massive difference between, like a study that has like 20 people in it that are all buddies with the person that made the study in the first place. And,
That's what irritated me about, because Diorio, who I like in pretty much every other instance, had talked about the January 6th stuff.
Yeah.
And the other people around on, I forget, one of them was Will. I don't know if you're familiar with Willie Mack, but he's a pretty popular. He's not really a commentary guy, but he really doesn't really interact with them a whole lot. But anyways, it was him and some other guy. I forget who the other guy was, but neither of them knew shit, right? So whatever Destiny was saying was getting no fucking pushback because neither of them knew what
They're
anything
both
about
stupid. They're both stupid. They don't know what the fuck to talk about.
Yeah, they're ignorant. Yeah, not necessarily stupid, but they're ignorant. They didn't know anything about it, and they didn't bother learning anything about it. That's what really bugged me, is they went into that thing without doing a ton of research themselves. Which again, if you're gonna try to push back on something with Destiny, you've got to know he's gonna have a shitload of fucking data to throw at you, even if it's super slanted.
Well, if you're going to go into
He's
any
going
kind of
into
debate, like
research.
I did that debate against one of those race realist guys on and the debate was on
Millennial
IQ. Well, it was Millennial Woe's friend. I was told I was going to be debating a
He's
Millennial Woes.
moderator.
I was told I was going to be debating Millennial Woes, and then they switched when I got there, and I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'll debate your little fucking stooge too. Instead, it's fine.
Yeah,
but I must have did
was
like
pretty fair as a moderator, right?
He was exceptionally fair as a moderator, and I fucking destroyed his little debate guy hard. They called it way before we had originally agreed to, because I'm pretty sure his debate guy had completely lost because, I pointed out one simple fact, that the size of the brain has 0% to do with the intelligence of the person.
Right.
The brain,
otherwise
you can have a parrot with a tiny little fucking brain is smarter than a pig with a big fucking giant brain compared to the parrot.
Yeah, I mean,
so clearly, the size of the brain has
capacity.
nothing to do with the intelligence of the animal. And I pointed out what it actually is that it's folds in the gray matter, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. But I probably spent a week where I spent 4 to 5 hours a day researching shit to do with the brain and looking at different shit so that I would know what the fuck I was talking about. And have answers when they had fucking questions or made points. And like that's what you do when you're going to go into a debate and you're going to debate. Like if you don't know you're going to be in a debate, it's like, oh, surprise, you're debating. Yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah.
But if you know you're going into like a debate with somebody or a political conversation, do your fucking research, man. It's you got to take that time.
Yeah. No, it's I think that one was relatively thrown together quickly for the whole January 6th nonsense.
Oh, could be.
But yeah, even then, it was pretty irresponsible to even be there. Because again, I doubt
sometimes you got to say no.
Sometimes
you got to say, hey, you know what? I'm not knowledgeable enough about that to have a debate yet. I'm more than happy to research that and meet with you again in a week or two. But until then, I'm not going to say one way or the other because I don't know.
Yeah, that one particularly bugged me because, I don't think he changed any of the other people on the minds about anything. People listening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, see, that was my thing with Millennial Woes. I wasn't there to convince Millennial Woes or his hardcore listeners. I was there to convince people who were like, maybe he has a point.
Yeah.
I wanted to
yeah.
convince those people, like,
Yeah,
oh,
and a
I guess
debate,
what?
that's
He
generally-
doesn't have a point.
We're too
Yeah.
far from our goal.
Yeah, you're
Can't
generally
follow
speaking to
any
the
further.
undecideds, or the ones
Exactly.
that can actually, or the ones that'll actually listen to fucking, the facts and logic or whatever.
Certainly what I was trying to do.
I wanted to give you my thanks, but you stuck by me. when
Yeah.
I gathered my strength.
But yeah, that was a
My
funny
sense of
one.
purpose.
The debate there.
Whatever happens next.
At least it
Yeah,
was a
that
real
was-
debate, and it wasn't one of those fucking oh, what are
Didn't
the
turn into
fucking
blood sport.
the blood sports bullshit fucking debates. Those were so funny. Oh man, those
Yeah.
are always a riot.
Yeah, they were definitely searching for the truth in those interactions.
Oh yeah, baby.
Why is this not charging? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Sorry, my phone was down to like 5%.
No.
For some fucking.
Oh, and then you plugged it in, it wasn't charging.
Yeah. Well, I have it plugged into the PlayStation usually. Not quite plugged in all the way, but we're good now.
Nice.
We can get through the last 10 minutes here or whatever. Yeah. Oh, I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
ask you, do you still want to do at this time going forward, or?
Yeah. Do you want to move it forward like to a different time, or is this fine? 'Cause
Yeah, no, it's up to you.
Either one works for me.
Yeah, my schedule is even more wide open, so whatever you want to do is fine.
Let's just keep it at this time so it doesn't get weird.
Right. Yeah. No, I think the last couple of times we've gone with the other way, so yeah, that's more than fair, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 to 7 my time, 3 to 6. Well, still the same time for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh no, you would have been doing it. Oh no, we were the same for the last 6 months. That's right. We had the same time. It was 3 o'clock for both of us.
Oh
until now.
man.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, that works. So yeah, it'll be 4 to 7 for me. Still the same 3 to 6 for you.
So we talked about the Peanut the Squirrel. Did I tell you that, like, because of the Peanut Squirrel thing, another channel that I watch had apparently done a thing where they were trying game meat a year ago, and the title of it was like, "What does squirrel meat taste like?"
Yeah, I
And
didn't
because
watch
peanut
it. I
was
saw
like a
it.
big fucking topic, and it suggested that to me because it was like, oh, squirrels are popular. He must want to see this video. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious. I was like, that's fucking great.
Not exactly what you're looking for, but all right.
It's an incredibly poor taste, literally. They
Yeah.
did not like squirrel.
Yeah, I
Squirrel
gotta
apparently
imagine that's
tastes
super-
awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I imagine it's incredibly gamey and lean, right?
Yeah, it was not a particularly pleasant meat in their opinion.
It looked like they just put the whole, like, just dressed it and kept the body together and cooked it. At least in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I think they just take the head and the paws off and then skin it and serve it up that way.
Yeah, just put the whole fucking thing on. Yeah. Or again, I was only going off the thumbnail,
Okay.
so. That's accurate.
What was on the thumbnail? That was a rabbit in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
But the squirrel was very similar, just like a smaller one.
Yeah. I heard rabbit's not bad, right?
They liked rabbit. They were very happy with rabbit.
Okay, yeah.
There were a
gonna
lot of
say, I
game
heard
birds
that-
that they were super into. Like they did a bunch of different game birds that you don't normally get, like guinea fowl and pheasant and stuff like that, where you normally like people eat a lot of what is the quail? I think is like still pretty normally like eaten as quail, and then there's like one other one. It's like the Cornish game hen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get those in the supermarket all the time. Dude.
Yeah.
Cornish
Those are
game
two
hen.
commonly eaten, but there's like a bunch of other ones that are not very commonly eaten that are apparently quite tasty.
We have a lot of quail around here, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you see
Yeah.
quail when you're driving down the road here all the time. Like fucking, they're all over
Yeah.
the fucking place here.
Yeah. Dude, it's fun to watch them.
Mhm.
Especially, dude. Yeah, I remember seeing the little chicks, little quail chicks running around with like. The
Oh
mom.
yeah, that's always
The
adorable.
way they move. Yeah, the way they move is weird because they kind of, zigzag a little bit, and just I don't know. It's something really adorable about a mom quail and a bunch of little baby quails running along behind her. Because they're just fucking hauling ass. Because again, they fly, but they spend most of their time on the ground, I believe.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
They're very loud. Yeah, and they take off. Flutter those fucking wings though. for such a small bird.
Oh yeah, it was always fun watching them like running down trails, and because they also like go single file and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And that
the
little
kids running
feather on
behind
top of their
a little.
heads, like bobs and shit, like a weird, quirky
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. Yeah, I never actually hunted them.
I just seen
But
them when
yeah,
I'm like out on
definitely
hikes and
do.
stuff. Never hunted them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they're obviously, like I said, there's a lot. So you see them pretty darn close to habitations. Yeah, but
Yeah.
people do hunt them with shotguns because they're pretty small to try to hit with a fucking like
Bullet.
a 22 or something.
Well, and also if you hit them with
Yeah.
like a 22, it potentially like most of the meat would be gone.
Yeah, it would just kind of rip off the big chunks of it, and they're pretty small already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll get like a small entry wound and a large exit wound, and if the animal's small, then a large exit wound could be like half of the animal's like just chunks blown across the fucking ground.
Yeah, its entire backside is just fucking obliterated on the way out.
Like those fucking hunt and pest videos that the fucking Red Letter Media guys saw.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was like the hunting critters or what was the term they used? But it was like a whole videotape where it was just like a guy shooting fucking like moles and groundhogs and shit like that.
Oh, gotcha.
When they were doing their best of the worst videos.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. Sounds interesting though.
Yeah, there was one where it was like it was like a kind of like psychotic looking guy, and the whole video was just literally him shooting fucking like small animals in a big field, and like getting creative with how he was killing them. And you're like, this is like a serial killer's wet fucking dream. Are you serious?
Yeah, you're like, I'm glad this guy latched onto this and not.
Yeah,
humans.
not fucking people. Jesus.
I'm like, all right, this is fucking weird, but I'm kind of glad because what else would he be doing if he didn't have this, obliterating small animals fetish?
100%, 100%.
Although that can be a bit of a gateway drug for from what I understand.
Yeah, it's usually one of the indicators of a psychotic. Is they'll, when they're growing up, they'll start killing and torturing animals, like small animals like squirrels, cats, dogs, puppies, kittens, that kind of thing. They're pretty fucking... anything they can get their hands on. This guy, I mean, to be fair, this guy probably wasn't an actual psychotic.
Right.
But, like, the behavior is just a little fucking weird,
Yeah, he's a little too enthusiastic about obliterating fucking, small creatures. So creepy, but probably not homicide to people,
yes.
anyway.
Yes. Creepy, but probably not homicidal. That's actually a really good way to put it.
That's the best way I can phrase it for this guy.
There's not a lot of wiggle room there to make this guy look good, but we're trying.
Yeah. Yeah, give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Glad he has a relatively healthy outlet for his homicidal tendencies.
Yeah. Poor critters.
Indeed. Wow. Could you stop? Look at this fucking dog. Like, I get that golden retrievers are high energy. God damn. There's no way to exhaust this fucking dog, dude. I don't think I've
it's like
seen him
that fucking
exhaust
kitten
since he
my
was a
sister
puppy.
got. The kitten that would never sleep.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he sleeps, but only if I'm asleep. And even then.
Oh, this kitten, not even then.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. All right.
Well, and my sister's already like dealing with like anxiety and shit, so like having this animal that just like for no reason won't stop fucking pestering her constantly. That's not good. It's like
that's hurtful.
the fact that it would never sleep made her feel like she had to constantly be like taking care of it or
Oh,
something.
like awake with it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it was
and
like
so she didn't sleep for like 3 or 4 days. I took it for like a couple of like I don't know, like 16 hours or something. And I just ignored it. Like, I was like, yeah, run around, do your thing.
Right.
You're fine. Like, it's not going to bother me none. Like, yeah,
Right,
all right.
right.
Cat didn't want to sleep. Cat didn't have to sleep. I'm going to fucking sleep when I need to sleep, though. That's not my problem if it's awake.
yeah, cat can run around on its own, perfectly fine.
Well, I set up
They
my
can
room so
entertain
there was
themselves.
nothing for the kitten to hurt itself on. Yeah, so I didn't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, her
no,
room
they're-
was
no,
similarly
joking.
set up. She just didn't have any faith in it. So she felt like as long as the kitten was awake, she
Right.
had to be. So it was unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I wasn't being a smart. Cat's perfectly fine by themselves.
Oh,
Even as kittens.
I just felt really
They can
bad for.
entertain
I felt
themselves.
really bad for my sister because a big part of the getting the cat was supposed to be helping with her anxiety.
And it was making it worse, basically.
Yeah, so it was ironic because it's like, you know, it had been suggested, oh yeah, you know, you should get a cat, like get a kitten, and you'll have a pet, and it'll be, you know, something that you can take care of that'll help you kind of, you know, work through taking some responsibility and being less, you know, nervous all the time, and then like get the broken one.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, a cat. I was gonna say like a golden arrow. Better. Like they're too needy.
Yeah,
Like they require way too much. Yeah, a cat requires. You know, they're fine with attention, but for the most part, they kind of want. You know, they kind of want to just do their own thing. Much more than dogs, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Cats, it would have been a great choice if it was just a regular cat and not like a cat that had some sort of weird
Yeah.
behavioral
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. Incapable of fucking sleeping.
Yeah, I
kittens
thought
are
it was
supposed to be
weird.
super active.
It was weird to me
Mostly
after
sleep.
like the first, like, cause a lot of like kittens and puppies, they'll be active for like an hour, maybe 2, and then they'll take a nap for like 20 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
like they're not
Yeah,
usually
they sleep
awake
a lot.
constantly. That's really rare. So I thought it was weird that it was just like it was awake for a solid 6 hours straight, and then I took a little bit of a nap for a while myself, get some sleep myself, and it was
Yeah.
still going when I woke up, and I'm like, nah, that's fucking weird.
Yeah. It's fucking,
So
yeah. Yeah, I assume their brains kind of need that same amount, for sanity's sake, but maybe not.
well, I would
Maybe
imagine,
cats are-
and this is just a guess. I have no idea if this is a thing that happens with cats, but you've heard of those like very rare people that don't sleep.
These lands remind me of
Where instead of going and sleeping for 8 hours, they're in a constant state of micro sleeps where their brain will shut down for like
yeah,
a
very
couple
short
of
periods of time.
milliseconds every minute and just like constantly just do all that instead of actually being asleep for any length of time. Like they don't actually, I mean, maybe they'll sleep like an hour a night if they're even capable of that. But because their
Right.
brains go into micro
Right.
sleeps constantly throughout the day, they don't need sleep. And like it doesn't fuck them up. It doesn't mess up their physiology. So I wonder if
Yeah.
maybe it was the cat equivalent of that. I don't know. Like maybe. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
But I don't know if cats have that
Yeah,
similar
it's
thing.
yeah. Probably. We're both mammals. It's pretty likely.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think she
otherwise,
just got like
yeah,
the
it's
1 in
still
a
active
million
woman.
fucking kitten that was just kind of fucked up, you know?
Right? It just, yeah. Yeah, because they're usually, super active for sleep for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dog doesn't sleep on his own. He never did. So it's kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah, and well, like
even as
some
a puppy-
dogs, they need to be trained. Like you can't expect them to just sleep on their own. Like you need to train them like to sleep in a crate, or they need to sleep with a person, or like that kind of shit.
Yeah, but yeah, this one, like maybe not. I've heard that puppies spend a decent amount of time fucking sleeping, and this one never did. Anytime that he was, people were around him and awake at night, he slept. But yeah, any other time, he never napped that I know of.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, that's weird
Yeah.
because most of the time dogs will take little naps here and there. Like they don't usually stay awake the
Yeah,
whole day.
especially as puppies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not this one. He's a little lunatic. He's like fucking methed out, fucking 100% of the time. And then he sleeps with his eyes open sometimes, which is pretty common, I guess, in Goldens.
Did
Sleeps with his
not
fucking
know
eyes
that was a thing. I have not had a pet that slept with its fucking eyes open.
Yeah, it's not like more often than that, but for Goldens, it's not that uncommon.
That's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, yeah. There's some dogs that'll not just Goldens, obviously, but yeah, he doesn't do it all the time. But yeah, it is kind of weird to just see him laying on his side and fucking eyes wide open, just nothing.
Snoring
He's
away
fucking
and shit.
sleeping when I wake up or whatever. Yeah, because he'll only sleep when I sleep. You know what I mean?
I've seen that, like, they've showed that in movies and stuff where, like, there'll be some person that sleeps with their eyes open for some reason.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it in, like, spy movies, and there's, like, wizards supposed to sleep with their eyes open, like Gandalf in the fucking Lord of the Rings and shit like that.
All right. Yeah.
Like, and it's weird as fuck, right? Like,
Yeah.
But I didn't expect that was, like, an actual thing that really actually happened.
Yeah. I assume, like, survival-wise, it would be a pretty, if you could sleep with your eyes open, some level, you see any kind of movement around you.
Yeah, like your lizard brain might kick you into wakefulness because it senses certain kinds of movement. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I assume it's some kind of evolutionary thing.
Yeah, no,
Like
logically that makes
open
perfect sense. That makes
often.
really good sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I just didn't think there was anything that actually did that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I know
there
there's
was
like,
the.
what do you call it? Cats have like those extra set of lids, and I've seen cats that sleep with those closed, but not their full eyelids.
Right. But no, yeah, they're just laying there and looking like they're staring off into fucking nothing. So it's a little off-putting the first time. So like, why aren't you, like, you know what I mean? Why aren't you moving or doing something? Because you constantly are. Like, oh shit, he's still asleep. You don't need to go out. Shut up, faker. Yeah, he does this a lot. Where he acts like he has to go outside and he'll keep nudging me. And like 9 times out of 10, he doesn't have to shit. But because of that, I kind of have to take him out.
Oh yeah. Well, we're at the point anyway where we can.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Call it unless we have anything else to really go over.
No, I think we're good, man.
Yep.
So, yeah, nobody's listening as far, so,
Congrats,
bye-bye.